Hey there, you're listening to You Still Going On About That with Rob Israel and Joseph K. You can find us anywhere you could download podcasts. You could also find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at YSGOAT. Thanks for listening. I'm Rob Israel.
I'm Joseph K.
You still going on about?
That.
All right, Joseph. So it is April 16th. Did you pay your taxes yet?
Oh shit. Okay.
Well, this was the last episode of Joseph's going to be spending some time with Wesley
You just
Snipes in the jail
see the
cell.
technical difficulty side
Yeah.
up on yeah, yeah. Yes. Never a huge joy, but yeah. I mean it's pretty
Those golf
straightforward.
trips that Trump charges the United States so he could golf at his own
Yeah,
resorts and get to pay for itself. I guess it is
yeah,
paying for itself in a way.
yeah, yeah. Um, but
What a,
yeah, yeah.
I can't stand whenever like he doesn't take a salary.
Yeah.
Like that's like me saying like I gave like Taco Bell 75 cents when for the Taco Bell Foundation. They said,
Yeah.
would you round up? And the bill is like 634. And I went, yeah, you can round it up to seven. That's kind of like
Yeah.
almost the same thing of Trump not taking his salary. And I bet he does take his salary.
Yeah, I 100% believe he takes a salary,
That
and
guy is
one
like a
day,
money hoarding, like
yeah, he will,
he'd be a
yeah,
dragon in like a mythological
right,
money
small,
hoarding dragon. Isn't that like their
um,
thing? Don't dragons like hoard money or something?
yeah,
Or
they have like this like Rumpelstiltskin like uh obsession of like steal of like hoarding things or
gold?
something. Yeah, they
Wasn't that
want
what
they
Smaug was in The
yeah
Hobbit?
he sat on that huge pile of treasure.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, that was actually
didn't
in
do
like that
anything
old
else.
the book Beowulf, that poem Beowulf. That there was a dragon at the end of that that just sat with treasure, and that was written like oh like 1,500 years ago. So yeah,
Shit
anyway.
hasn't changed.
Nah.
Trump is that fucking big old fat blobby. You ever see the Dungeons and Dragons movie that came out a couple years ago?
Oh, that was great. Yeah, yeah,
Remember the dragon was like super fat? It was like kind of
yeah,
funny almost. They fought this like incredibly obese dragon. It was kind of cute. It was like he was like a
yeah.
corgi or I don't know. I always thought that was like I found that to be so fucking funny. I was like,
That was a great movie.
it
I mean,
was really
like,
good. The guy who
yes.
was in Freaks and Geeks directed it. The kid.
Oh,
The
really?
kid. Yeah.
Huh.
Because they
It
did
was
some like to promote the movie, they did some kind of reunion where they got Martin Starr and
okay.
got the other guy's name, the one with the curly hair, and they were playing
Yeah.
dragons in their 40s and everything, and it was kind of like a mini Freaks and Geeks
Oh,
reunion.
yeah.
Yeah, that was such a good. I thought it was really well done.
I I wonder what I would have thought had I heard more about it, because like after I saw it, okay, yeah, it was the lead character from Freaks and Geeks,
Yeah, the main
John
kid.
Francis Taylor. Yeah, yeah, I thought it was great. I mean, it wasn't
Was he
like
on
Earth.
Bones or something?
Oh, I
I feel like
think
he
you're
was like on one of
right.
those fucking procedural shows.
Yeah,
He became a director.
um, I don't think it was Bones. I think it was, let's see, John Francis
Castle,
Daly,
White Castle.
White Castle.
He
Producer
is
tell me. Oh,
I.
he was in Bones. Yeah, you're right.
Them
Uh,
bones.
I never watched that. Um,
I don't watch any of those shows. I find them like whatever. They're okay. They're
oh,
like,
you know what? I don't know if. Oh yeah, he was in Bones. He was in 100 fucking 138 episodes of
well,
Bones.
it was on for a while.
Yeah.
I always
Huh.
thought it was funny. It's the sister to the.
Yeah.
Has she ever been in
Zoe.
anything else since Bones? I feel like I haven't seen her in anything. Like she
What
just
was
did
the?
Bones and never act. She never did anything before or after. She was just like
Yeah.
owned out.
Oh no. Um.
I was in the bone
Um.
zone, but now I'm
What
out.
was what was her name? It was Emily. Emily Deschanel.
Yeah, not as quirky.
And no, no, she's been in a decent amount of stuff, but let's see, she's done one
Probably just don't
movie
recognize
last
her.
year. Yeah. She was in an episode of Superstore.
Yeah, that
She
show's
was
been
in
a
that
while.
show Devil in Ohio, which I heard about but never watched.
Mm. Yeah,
Uh, she, yeah, no, she hasn't done much. That's funny. Um, yeah. Anyway, yeah, I thought that was a great movie. Honor Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Amongst Thieves.
yeah, I thought it was well done.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the acting was great. Chris Pine was great in it. That was him, right? Chris Pine.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
he was good as the lead.
he was good. They made it the right amount of funny and kind of
It was a good
quirky and
balance. I like
yeah,
how they worked in the Dungeons and Dragon characters from the cartoon in the 80s. So like when they're doing
yeah,
this like game in the end, there's groups and one of the groups in the
yes,
background, you see them kind of running through and they're in the costumes. Like they made the costumes and it's just
yeah,
like a funny little Easter egg.
yeah.
Uh, Bradley Cooper's like extended cameo as like the
Was he the king or
it
what
was the
was he?
main woman. No, he was like a dwarf or something in it. Like he was like a hobbit because he was with Michelle Rodriguez's character, who was like a
Oh,
battle
okay.
woman or I don't know what she was or
Yeah,
whatever. And she visit and like they go back to her house or whatever, and that's his it's her ex, Bradley Cooper's, and he's like this
that's
little
right.
guy.
Yeah,
And then another woman comes in who's like from the same tribe as her or whatever, and she's like the white. It's just really funny. And he's like this
yeah.
little guy.
Hugh Grant was in it. I forgot about that.
Yeah, he was the
Bradley
best. He was
Cooper.
like he's kind of like a bad guy. There was like a
Yeah.
whole thing with that one. They would have like these court cases in the beginning, like about getting out of jail, and they would just fuck with that bird guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So good. I thought they
Yeah.
did a really good job on that movie. They've been talking about doing sequel and shit, but they said that probably not happen just because the movie didn't make enough. Like it did well, but not well enough to like that they're gonna drop another 150 million on a movie, which
Yeah.
it's like that
I
bullshit. I always see these like posts and stuff when everybody complains about a new Marvel movie or a new oh they're making another Superman or they're doing
right.
this or they're doing that, but it's like okay, here's a bunch of new movies, no one saw them.
Yeah. Yeah. That's disappointing.
I blame see that's where I blame streaming because as much as people want to complain about like a Marvel movie or a Star Wars or something, it's like to them it they still have this like premium appeal
Yeah.
that like people feel like they need to see it and they're usually very expensive movies, they're very it's a lot of special effects. You get your eye
Right.
candy whatever. But like a lot of these other movies that people would traditionally go to for years, all the streaming services are making those type of movies well, and sometimes they're really
Yeah.
good,
Making
sometimes
them
they're
better.
crap, and that's why people just don't go to these like movies all the
Well,
time.
when I remember when I was a kid, uh, and even when I was like a teen and stuff, I would go to the movies all the time. I would go to the movies. I would just literally drive to the movie theater and then go into the lobby and pick out what I was going to see right then and there.
Ooh, it was
I didn't
cheap
even
to
have a
go, and
yeah.
there
And I
wasn't really.
saw
I mean, that was it. There was no streaming, and
yeah, I
anything you
saw a
saw on
lot of
cable wasn't
shitty
really new.
yeah, and I saw a lot of shitty movies and I didn't even care. Like sometimes I'll come across a movie flipping channels. I'm like, oh fuck, I saw that in the theater. I saw they're remaking a movie called Four Seasons, and I'm like, that sounds familiar. And I remember I saw that when it first came out, it had Alan Alda and Carol Burnett. It was like from 1981. I went to the fucking movie theaters and saw that movie as like a little kid, and like it's
That's a
just gonna
weird
be a
movie for a little kid to see.
yeah. Well,
Hey, I'm Alan Alda. Oh, okay.
I saw like all sorts of I'd go to anything. I saw like as a child, I saw like Being There. I saw Kramer versus Kramer. I
Oh, all the
saw
movies kids love.
yeah, like anything that was out and big and new, I'd go see. And half the time I like everything was sailing over my head. I had no idea what the jokes were and um
Well, I just remember this guy like post this thing like he's at the theater. I forgot what movie it was. It was from a couple weeks ago, and he's like, "Hey, no one's here. Y'all say you want to see new shit. You keep saying you want to see new stuff, and then Hollywood does make new movies, but you
yeah,
have to come out and actually see them,
yeah,
or they are going to make Captain America 36.
right.
Like, because in the end of the day, this Captain America, maybe it didn't do as well, but it probably did well enough that they could do some kind of sequel in the future.
Yeah, but they made like Five Nights at Freddy's for a fraction of the money and probably
But that
got
was
a
based
lot.
on a video game
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was very popular. It's like Minecraft. Minecraft's the biggest movie, but it was also based again. It had a bunch of actors that do well in these type of movies that
Yeah,
are
yeah.
that are very notable. Everybody knows who they are. I don't know how big. I don't know. Like Jason Momoa really like a box office draw, or is it just more like Jason Momoa got put in like these type of brands that he's good in? I feel like
Yeah.
that's like almost the same thing with The Rock. Like, does The Rock really draw in people, or is it the reality is like he got on the Fast and Furious franchise
I
and
think it's I think you're right. And I think there's a few actors like that where they can't necessarily carry a movie themselves. Like Jason Momoa was in that Apple show C, which still no one ever talks about.
that's like
Uh
90% of Apple's TV shows is like
yeah, but
except for
like
like Severance and maybe For All Mankind.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. Oh,
but
Ted Lasso was a
well,
big one for them.
what?
Ted Lasso was a big one for them.
Oh yeah, yeah. Ted Lasso was massive. It's so big that they're bringing it back. I don't know if he's good to be in it though.
He he is, I believe. I'm curious to see. I love Ted Lasso. I thought that was a great show. Season one was perfect. Season two was good. Season three, it was okay. Uh, but yeah, I don't know. It'll be a tough one because they ended it so perfectly. It'll be a tough one to come back from. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. I just hope it's super woke. I hope it's so woke.
Was it woke? I mean, it's
No, not
modern. I don't think
necessarily.
it was like hit over the
It
head type
wasn't.
woke.
Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, I think it's.
There
I
was
think
this
that's.
show that we used to watch that was like on. Oh man. Okay, so it was like one of those channels that Disney bought. It used to be like originally was the Family Channel, and then it turned
Yeah,
into some like
Great
teen
American
channel.
Country or something.
What?
Was it like Great American Country or
No,
something?
they
Was it?
gave it like a totally different name, and it was like
All
it ended
right.
up being like almost like an MTV type station. That's where
Huh.
like Pretty Little Liars was on.
Oh, okay.
And then eventually a lot of these shows just end up on Hulu because it was by the same
Yeah,
company. But I always found it funny that the origin was the Family Channel and cable. And then
that's
eventually it
funny.
just kept on morphing and morphing. And then it's like, now there's like shows with like lesbians and shit on, you know?
Yeah.
So there was this show she'd watch. And I said this was like, if there's a show out there that is like the definition of woke, it was this one. It was about these women, all different races, sexuality, whatever. And they're all
Yeah.
living in this like house. Oh, there was like a guy who was an artist and he was bisexual. Like,
Sure.
and it was like every note was hit. And I
Yeah.
said, and the thing is, like, I'm very progressive, but I'm gonna
Sure.
make fun of it when it's this blatantly bad.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was called like I called this. I'm like, oh, you're watching the woke show again? It was like obnoxiously woke. Like every character hit a note. Like the woman is dating the owner of the company, and the owner of the company is autistic. It's like every
Oh yeah. Yeah.
hit, every button, every walk of life showed up on this show, and it was annoying as fuck. I forgot
Yeah.
the name
That's
of it. I got to get the name. Like,
well. Yeah. I don't know. I think while you're looking for that, Ted Lasso was amazing. I thought it was a great show. I thought the ending was kind of pitch perfect, and it was like a good final ending. Like you got the feeling both that the story is done, but their lives would go on, which is like a really rare thing to be able to do in a finale. Like
you
you
talk about Ted
feel,
Lasso?
yeah, you feel like, okay, their story's done. I'm not going to see them anymore, but their lives are going to go on. And you can almost see like the trajectory of their lives, and you feel like you're leaving them in good hands with the
Yeah, it's almost
universe or
like if
something.
they go back and do this, it's gonna be like one of those like weird Toy Story 4. Like a lot of people
Yeah,
love Toy Story 1, 2, and 3, and 3 has like a really nice definite ending
yeah,
where you can
yeah.
end the series on it. And because the kid passes on the toys to this girl, he gives up his because his
Right.
child who liked the toys, and then the toys ended up in this new home. They didn't melt to death like I thought they were
Yeah.
going to. I was very disappointed in that. I was like, they're gonna die. They're gonna kill the toy. Remember, they're all like holding
Right,
on to
right.
each other. I was like, this is dark as shit. They should have been permanently damaged from the heat alone, but
Yes.
that's a
Yeah.
we're gonna let those talking toys slide. But Toy Story 4 was like kind of weird. Like it was
Yeah.
good, and then like he stays behind and becomes like almost like it's almost like the ending of Quantum Leap, where
Oh yeah,
Scott
right.
and his name was Scott, right?
Scott
Well, Scott
Bakula.
Bakula was the actor. I
It
forgot.
was, I forget the character's name. It was, yeah, it wasn't also Scott. Yeah, anyway, that was a great ending though. They always
And
talk
it was
about
like he
rebooting
would
that.
kind of continue doing that. He'd be like an angel almost or whatever, but then they
Yeah,
just defended an ending, and that's kind of like what happens,
Sam.
like Woody in the end. Like they bring back the little Peep character, and they end up in this like antique store, and
Yeah,
he decides to stay with them. Like his time has moved on. He's not like a loved toy anymore because it's from a time ago, and but it
right.
was like okay, we didn't need to see it. And supposedly they're
Yeah,
making a fifth one.
yeah.
So
I thought
I
that.
think if we're five Toy Story movies in here,
Yeah.
I'm seeing the fuck. I think we've all earned that. He's like,
Right.
hey, Buzz. You know, there's a reason why they call me Woody. Why is that?
Yeah.
Why is that, Woody? Bend over and find out. Ah!
Yeah. Yeah.
We
I can
earned
see
that.
that.
We earned that. We watched that since 1995. We're all adults now. I
Mm,
mean, I know there's children who are supposed to watch this, but they don't need to. Let
yeah.
this be our Toy Story. Toy Story
Yeah.
to infinity and
Disney
that's right.
Blue.
What?
They'll
Get
start
the
a sub
get the
channel Disney Blue. Um
get the loop to infinity
get them
and ah!
get the Murphy's oil. Get the Murphy's.
Just a
Yeah.
big old toy orgy in the end. You know, that's
I
what we deserve this.
I thought my last thought on Ted Lasso. I thought that it would be good to do. You know, like British shows, they'll do like 2 or 3 seasons, and then they'll do like a Christmas episode, and they'll do like maybe 2 or 3 Christmas episodes, and that's it. You know, they don't. It's not necessarily another season. It's like a special lengthy episode. The Office did that. A few of them did that. I thought that Toy Story. I thought that Ted Lasso would work well with that, like doing one episode where they come back to solve one small problem, or it's like, you know, it's Higgins's birthday and everyone forgot it. So now we have to have the best birthday
Higgins,
ever, you know, and
but
they
the guy who he's like this. He's like what is he? He's like her
he's like their
assistant.
accountant.
Dude, that
He's like
guy's
the
great when they go to New
Amsterdam.
Amsterdam, and he
Yeah.
keeps making it sound like he's getting a prostitute.
Yeah, but he's going to Chet Baker where Chet Baker killed himself or died.
Yeah, it was a jazz bar he was
Yeah.
going to,
Yeah.
and he ends up playing or something. But
Yeah,
it's
he
so
was real
funny. He's
good.
like, I'm gonna get a prostitute. Like
Right.
that's what it
He's just
sounded like, and he takes like one of the towel guy or something. I don't know, the
yeah.
towel boy.
Yeah. It
It
was, I
was
think the
pretty
guy,
funny.
yeah, it was good.
I was like, I remember watching this with Lee, and I said, if you notice though in the show,
Uh,
there's characters that go out in there's characters that go out and about to different sets. But what they did with most of the football players, they're soccer players,
yeah.
there's a scene where they're just sitting in the room and they're all
Yeah.
arguing on where they're gonna go.
Right.
And it's funny. And I said to her, though, I'm like, this is brilliant because what they're doing here was this was a cost cutting
Yeah.
this because there's like 30 fucking soccer players. So instead of having to like
Right.
film them all over the place or make sets, whatever, they just kept them in this room. And the joke was they couldn't decide anything. They're having like
Yeah.
votes and then it's like too late in the end. And I said they did this for budgetary reasons.
Yeah.
It's
That was
funny,
funny.
it's brilliant, but at the same time, it's like they did it
Kept him
because
indoors.
it's cheaper to have like the owner of the company go out with one person and the other person
Yeah.
go out, and then all the full players can't decide on something. It's like that's how we save money. And they obviously were not in New Amsterdam. They could just film that in like
Yeah.
this
Filmed
setup.
at a Marriott in Ohio.
Yeah, yeah. Back of a porn
Um,
theater.
right. All right. So what we have tonight, we got we haven't talked about this many shows in a while. Some of them we'll just kind of breeze through, but
Oh, I forgot we were talking about stuff.
we both watched Bondsman, which is a Kevin Bacon show on Amazon Prime. We both watched the first episode of Last of Us
Yep.
and the 7th season of Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Um, And then I watched Handmaid's Tale. And I'll say
Are you all caught up?
yes, I watched the fourth episode.
You're all caught up
Um,
then. Yeah.
I would say with the fourth episode, I started it last night and fell asleep in the middle of it, and then I kind of like got back at it today. It was good.
We'll talk
I'm all
about it when
caught
we
up.
talk
We'll
about
talk
it.
about it. Yeah. I still that show kind of plagues me in some ways. Anyway, and then we watched the season finale of Daredevil
They drag shit out on that show. That's the problem with that show. I'm like, I
with
think I do this like
Handmaids.
2 season
Yeah.
bullshit, like where they split the season in half. You gotta wait 6 months for the other half. I feel like
I
that's
don't think
going on.
so. I think they're going to go through the whole thing, and because I know that they want to get Testaments going right after, not
Uh,
immediately after, but like as if it were the
10 years.
following season.
That
Um,
uh, so then you saw the season finale of Daredevil, which was
yes,
awesome. We'll talk about
that was
that.
great.
All
It
right,
was
then what
really
about
good.
the real world bullshit?
Yeah, we're going to talk about the big thing is the deportation
Scary.
scandal that's going on. It's just real scary. We're talking about Department of Health and Human Services getting their budget halved, and just all the really gross things RFK is doing with it. I read this article about the Catholic Church and a lawsuit they're in, which I'll talk about
Yeah, this one's
briefly.
pretty funny.
We're going to talk about
It's the peak hypocrisy.
it's it is it's bananas. We're talking about Linda McMahon, who is excited for all the possibilities that A1 can bring education.
I
Uh,
can't believe
uh,
this wrestling lady is a moron too.
it's bizarre. And then we're going to talk about JD
I'm good
Vance.
at having dinners with people to talk about the next pay-per-view that the for wrestling. Oh, get that
Yeah.
lady in charge of the public of the school system. She clearly knows what she's doing. It's like,
We're going to talk about I was going to say Vince Vance. We're going to talk about JD Vance having the Ohio State Buckeyes players over and fondling their trophy,
that
and
was
then
funny.
we're gonna finish it up with a brief note about Home Alone 2. That's that.
I feel like there was something else I want to talk about. I talked
Yeah.
about the drawing last week.
Yes.
Yeah, that thing's crazy, dude. I think it's almost at 300,000 likes.
I'll bet. Yeah.
Let me look
Yeah.
at it
I've
real quick.
seen it. People talking about it on Reddit, which has been kind of nice. I
I've
like
been
Reddit a
posting it on
lot.
Reddit too, so I could get people to know that I'm the fucking person who did it. Because the problem with Reddit is people will share my work all the time on there, and I won't even know because I don't really use Reddit that much.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you would like Reddit. Because if you find the right subreddit, it is generally speaking like a bunch of pretty knowledgeable people that police trolls and stuff like that. And um it's like good conversation, like kind of like how I don't know.
Well, I'm
I
just
like
saying,
Reddit a lot.
people like steal my work. I've had people tell me my work's on Reddit and it's not credited. Like I did that Bernie Sanders drawing years ago. It was like during the
Yeah.
2020 election, or it was like the centrist blob, and then it was
Yes.
Bernie
Yeah.
Sanders, and like all these fucking, it's like all these fucking grifters were using it, like and putting it on their YouTube show, like and it's like you're monetizing that shit, you fucks.
Yeah.
Like I got so mad. I was like, you didn't ask me. You didn't ask my permission. And then they would get mad at me. I'm like, yeah, I'm still gonna vote for fucking Joe Biden. I'm like, I'm not a
Right.
grifter. Like, yes, I did. I want Bernie Sanders to win. Hell yeah, of course I did. But I also don't want Trump to win.
Right. Yeah.
Hmm. How's that going right now?
Oh, God.
Did you see the Bernie Sanders at Coachella?
Yeah.
I think it's crazy though. He's in great shape. I remember they would talk
He
about shit
is.
like he would have been so much better. I mean, yeah, he would have been a better president. I think he just would have been a better president in general than Biden. I think he's got his he is 100%. Like that dude is old
Yeah.
as
He's
shit
real
and
sharp.
he is he looks great still. Like dude's like well into his 80s already. He's
Yeah.
sharp, speaks well.
Yeah.
I
You
just
see
think
that photo, you see that press conference where not press conference, a town hall where Chuck Grassley was talking to his constituents. Um
no.
he was a town hall meeting,
That dude's
and
like
he's talking.
1,000 years old.
Dude, it looked like fucking Weekend at Bernie's. I mean, it really looked like an aide was behind him with a prod and like rubbing peanut butter on his lips and stuff to like get him to move.
It's
He
like I always
he looked adrift, It was real. It
I
wasn't
just
sad.
think
It was just frustrating.
what they call it, I see people always complaining like we need to stop the geriocracy or something, which like has like Nancy
Sure.
Pelosi who's like 1,000 years old too. Schumer's no spring chicken. Like it's
Yeah.
time to pass the torch. And I said my whole thing about this is I don't think this is really like an ego thing. I think it's like these people are bought and paid for by a lot of corporations. There's
Yeah.
relationships that are established and they service those people. And they know that the newer generations like AOC are not going to have those relationships. So
Yeah.
it is imperative that these people stay in their positions as long as possible. I mean, look at that one horrible person from California. I always hated her. She was awful. Feinstein.
Oh, yeah.
She was like
Feinstein. Yeah.
the worst. I always thought she was like garbage. It was like
Yeah.
not Joe Manchin level garbage, but
Right. Right.
honestly, not much worse. Not really. I mean, the only excuse
Well,
she was in California and he was in West Virginia, so he was able to get away with more bullshit. But it got so bad. I mean, she's dead. She died a couple of years
yeah.
ago. She was in charge of like the fucking committee. She was slowing down. Like Biden got a ton of judges through in his one term.
Yeah. He
But
did.
my God, there probably would have been like 50, 100 more if it wasn't for that fucking lady because she was like pretty much Weekend at Bernie's as well.
Yeah.
And she wasn't showing up and she was holding up the committees and they're like, yeah, we can't get any of these judges through because of her.
Well, in my view, I think that ideally you'd have a good mix of like older and younger. I mean, like honestly, the Congress should look like America. There should be some old people on there. There should be
Of
people
course.
there that have worked there for a long
But I
time.
think a lot of
Uh,
these people serve a purpose. I don't think it's just like, oh, they have
yeah,
this ego. I mean, I'm sure they love the
a
perks and
lot of them know the institution. They know the
yeah, but
rules.
I think there's also like people who pay them.
Yeah, that too. I mean, like,
I think
yeah,
that's
I don't
most of it. I think
disagree.
that's it. It's like it's important that Nancy Pelosi stays in forever and has influence over the party and keeps the party
Yeah.
corporate.
Mm,
Like they don't want it to go. The people that give the Democratic Party money don't want to go to the
true.
direction of AOC. It's what most Americans want, but corporations don't want that.
Well, yeah.
I don't know.
Uh,
That's my whole thing about it. I don't think it's just like I think it's the same thing with Trump. Again, I'm pissed and annoyed that people don't do the whole like Biden's old. Biden has a brain is a mush brain. Okay, look at Trump. He's old
yeah.
as shit. He looks like crap, and he sounds like a moron. Like he. I don't know. I can't
He's
just.
yeah. Well, all right. Well,
Let's
we'll
just talk.
start.
Let's get into all right, Bondsman. I mean, there's not like a lot to talk about. It's just
No.
the last episode was really good.
Yes.
So I think the show really picked up for me was the flashback episode for. I'm gonna pull up Bondsman.
The assistant
Yeah, the woman that kind of gives him the assignments. You don't really know much about her.
Midge.
Yeah, and then you find out like her story. And I love that they show her. She's like a chef, like a bakery chef or something.
Yeah.
Like this is like really funny. It's like because I thought the whole time she was like an actual like demon that, like comes up from.
Yes, I did too.
It's like no, she's just some person who fell into like a. And I love how like hell is basically just like a multi-level marketing scheme.
Yeah.
Like that guy that shows up and hooks her up, and it's like he has his own quota. She's
Yeah.
like, yeah, so this is like a pyramid scam, and he's like, yeah, hell is pretty much a pyramid scam. I mean, like, what did you
Yeah.
think it was gonna be? Yeah, she's trying to get health care for her kid, and it's like one of those situations they get put in. And I guess she's gonna go to hell also. Her character, the actress name is Jolene Purdy. She
Yeah.
Purdy. Her character's name is yeah, you said Midge.
Yep.
I like that episode a lot. I thought that was really good. I like the main villain end up being it's like Lilith, right? Isn't that Lilith?
Yes. Yeah. Lilith.
And she like
And
and then she possesses the well, there was a I guess the reason why he supposedly went to hell or was going to go to hell was because he killed that woman by accident or
right.
something, right?
Yes.
And then Lilith comes back as her and then makes a deal with him and Like,
Yeah, it was
that's
kind
what,
of fucked up. She said basically, so they trapped Lilith,
yeah,
and Kevin Bacon and Midge think, okay, we're going to trap Lilith and save the world. And that was their thing. It's like, we're both going to go to hell, but let's save the world in the meantime. So they trap Lilith, and Lilith basically says, hey, if I hop out of this body, I can bring the body back to life. You'll have never killed her, and you won't have to go to hell. And Kevin Bacon takes the deal, which
yeah,
is super fucked up because that's sending Midge straight to hell with no leverage and leaving the world at the mercy of Lilith,
yeah.
you know. He makes it's like
And he
and
ends up
Rick,
going to jail in the end anyway, or gets
yeah,
arrested. But then his wife become his ex-wife or whatever she is. That it's crazy though. Men like rip their fucking faces off,
yeah.
their jaws off. They
It's a
killed that
real
one character off. He was annoying, so I was shocked they
yes.
killed him off so quickly.
I was too. I thought he honestly for most of the season, I thought he was going to be a demon that no one could see. You know what I mean? Like a demon that figured out how to
Right.
hide.
Nah, he's just a shitty person.
Just
They
some shitty
exist. You don't need to
person.
be a
Yeah.
demon to be a shitty person. It would
So
probably make him better.
yeah.
It's like one of
So
those shitty
yeah.
people that was like trying to act like he was a good guy now or some bullshit. You
Which
know,
one?
like one of these like shitty
Yeah.
people, like,
Yes.
they get a little success or whatever, and now they try to act like they're this good person. They're not.
Right. Yeah.
They're not at all. They're
Yeah.
still garbage. And if you don't agree with them, they're gonna like fucking kill you
Right.
and fucking stab you and shit.
Well,
I'm
the
a
show
good guy
itself,
now. I'm not violent.
the show itself was it was nothing special. Like it wasn't like this real innovative show, but it was like a really good version of a regular show.
It ended strong. I like the last couple episodes, so
Yep. I like it. It was good.
I would watch season 2 if it gets made.
Yes. It you could watch it week by week. You could pick up an episode and the episode would make sense alone, or you could watch it as an
Were they all
ongoing
dumped at
series.
once? I feel like they dropped them all at once.
I think they were.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because when you told me about it, it was just like announced, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
April,
Apple's
they
interesting.
they all dropped at
Amazon's interesting
once.
like that. It depends on the show. Some shows get dumped all at once, and then some shows what was that one? Not Borderland. What was it? Fallout.
Fallout.
They dropped
Yeah.
that all at once, which I was kind of
Yep.
shocked. And in a way, I think that paid off because people
I do
loved
too.
that show. I think that was a
Yeah.
smart move. I think that's where situations where like see, I think that's the other thing about Daredevil. That's why people have this. I know we'll get to that later, but like have this like false nostalgia for the Netflix show. It's like, yeah, but you didn't have to wait week to week. That's why you didn't
Right.
bother that Daredevil wasn't Daredevil for like 6 episodes because
Yeah.
you watched them all in one weekend.
You could keep going until you got to Daredevil.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, he showed up in one episode, showed another. It's like, yeah, like he really. So it doesn't bother you as much.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I thought I agree. This worked well kind of as a binge. I did not binge it. I actually watched like
Some
a
like
couple
kind
episodes a
of
night.
it could have worked as week to week too. I mean, it had like its villain of the week
Yeah.
vibe going.
But it was good.
Huh.
It was it's like getting a really, really good fast food burger. You know, I mean it's like
It was good. I
it's
mean, I give it's a
yeah.
B show to me. Like, I'm not gonna like die to watch it again, but I'll check it out. Like I said, I think the thing that sold me was the Midge episode. I didn't really like how they explain hell, and I just thought it was
Yep.
like a good episode.
It was a good mix of funny. I know I said this last week, but it's like if Supernatural took place in the My Name Is Earl universe. I mean, it just
it
feels
was not
like
just True Blood, basically, but
yeah. I mean, it was like it was
okay.
fun. It's okay.
It's okay.
It was funny and it was
Look at
scary.
What a great last name. That's like a good name
yeah,
for like a stripper.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it was a good show. So then I watched, as did you, the first episode of The Last of Us, which I thought was a little slow but good. It's as I was watching it, I was like, this show often is a little slow.
I mean, at least they showed like some what are they called? Clickers and shit.
Yeah, yeah,
I just felt like I think if there was a complaint that I think is a reasonable complaint for the season last season, the first season was there would be
yeah,
episodes where they're not in it at all. And I said, like, They should be in every episode. I'm
Right.
sorry. That's like Walking Dead not having a zombie. Like they know that a
Yes.
zombie is going to show up, even if they're just in like a scene and you stab them in the head. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like we
Even
know
if they're
there's gonna
like
be that big
stuck on a
episode.
fence. Yeah.
We know there's gonna be that big episode where there's like thousands of them. But it doesn't matter. They should be in every fucking episode. And I think that was like the one big flaw of the show in the last season. Like I said, it was a great show. But I was like, there should be a fucking clicker every episode.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Doesn't make I don't it's like I know this is stupid, but like the Hulk, the whole TV show.
Yes.
You knew no matter what, David Banner, not Bruce, because Bruce was a
Right.
David Banner. Or Robert. I don't know. Yeah, no, but they were like they would call him all kinds of names except Bruce. They were like, no, Frank Banner.
Right.
He would turn into the Hulk twice every episode.
Yes.
One in the middle,
Right.
one in the end.
Yeah.
We're guaranteed that. There should be a fucking clicker of some kind of monster in every episode of Last of Us. There's I don't care. They're just sitting in a room. There should be a clicker that walks in the room and interrupts their conversation.
Oh, hi, Mark.
I feel like next episode, if they're going where they're going, I think next episode is gonna be nuts. Because there was like in the trails, there's one where they're being invaded by like thousands of them, and I think that you're being hinted at that it depends. It's either they're setting up for later or it is going to be in the next episode. There's this pipe they break open or whatever that's clogged with like
tendrils.
Wood, but in the end you see that. Because that's the thing, they're all connected, the cordyceps. They're all like one hive mind. And they exist either in the humans or animals that they take over or the plant life. And I thought that was crazy. So everyone's shitting on her, though. Everyone's shitting on this actress who plays Ellie. And it's just like...
Oh, the actress?
Yeah, it's just like, oh, she's ugly. Or it's like, dude, like... beat off to her, you freak.
Yeah, I mean, she's supposed to be a child.
So said it's 5 years later?
Yes,
I didn't realize that.
The opening scene is basically the last scene of last season where Ellie has recovered, Joel is recovered, and Ellie is like, they didn't find a cure.
They've been living in that town the whole time.
Yeah, in Wyoming.
And, the woman from True Blood runs.
Yeah.
Stackhouse's friend.
And it makes sense because like a lot of these, like a lot needed to happen for this show to pick up where it picked up. And so we see the very beginning, Joel lies to Ellie and says, you know, they couldn't find a cure, so you and I split out of there. And he doesn't tell Ellie that he killed everyone in that hospital. And then you see basically the children of the people that got killed in the hospital saying that we're going to head out to Seattle to regroup.
That one actress, I've seen her and stuff. I think she was in the last Scream movie. She's been in a bunch of stuff. She's the one, spoiler. I mean, this is like, anyone could, that's what's so funny about when things are adapted from like books or games. Like in the end with like Ned Stark gets his head cut off and he's killed on season 1. It's like every person who read the books knew that. And good on me, like good on anyone. Like I didn't go look at like Reddit or whatever. I don't know. I read it was around 2011, right? It's been awful.
Yeah.
That's, I think, it's when the show premiered. It could have been very easy to spoil, but everyone was shocked and surprised. But I'm like, this game is massive. Like, the game is fucking huge. That's why they made a TV show. The game is so huge that the show will never be as big as even the game probably is.
Right.
These games
are probably not,
dollars. And, it's like, the joke is like what's his name? Zack Snyder's Justice League. The way they looked like that in those costumes, people would be like, what the hell is that about? That's what they looked like in an Injustice video game. That game was bigger than anything.
Yeah.
Like, no one gives a shit about the comics. They make 50,000 issues of Batman. They make like 500 million copies of Injustice.
What
do you think they're going to base the movie on more?
Right. Well,
so Last of Us, everyone I think already knows what's going to happen. It's just the question is, when do they do it? Because technically, if they went by the game, Joel would be dead already.
Yeah.
I think he dies like in the beginning of the game, right? Season second one.
Yes. Although there's been some changes, and the people are theorizing that he doesn't die. you know, that
There's no
he,
reason to. Just go off your own way. It's like Walking
yeah,
Dead. Like, what's his face gets his hand cut off in the comics, and
right,
never gets his hand cut off in the show. Even though they did cut it off in the new show. That show,
right, yeah.
that wasn't
Um,
very good. But
I did see an interview with the guy making the TV show, and he said basically like we can't just copy the video game because we would just be an inferior version of the video game.
yeah,
And so we need to do something a little different.
well, they
So
changed things. Even like in the game, you didn't get a
yeah,
whole gay romance episode in the game. They just
right.
I remember people played it. They said like they allude to it, and they
Yes.
change it up. Like so, I guess in the game you go visit the compound or whatever that he was living in. The guy, he's supposed to be this like shut in,
Yeah,
and he has like traps everywhere. I don't think they had traps set up when they went there. I don't know, but the whole thing is like,
they
and
did.
supposedly he's not dead yet in the game because in the show he kills himself with his husband or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, they both die. He decides to kill
Right.
himself. But I think in the game he doesn't die. He's alive.
I don't remember, to be
I
honest
never
with you.
played the game. I'm just saying they made liberties with the first
Yes.
season. I don't need to see Joel die.
Yeah,
Or if
I
you
don't.
do have him die like in the last season where he sacrifices himself for Ellie.
Yeah,
And like he makes
yeah.
the ultimate sacrifice and he saves a whole bunch of people. It's a big name actor doing it. People like the character. It's on a TV show. You don't have to be in prison to the fucking.
Right.
Um, Now the thing is, if his death is truly integral to the plot, I have a feeling he is probably going to die by the end of the season. Now
Wouldn't sup-
supposedly they split the game into 2 seasons. That's supposedly what they're doing.
I think you're right.
Because
Yeah, I
there's
wouldn't
no,
mind
is there
one
a
or the
third
other.
game? There's no third game.
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. Um, but the episode was good. I think going 5 years into the future was kind of a bold but necessary choice because
Is
you
that in the
need.
game?
Uh, I I don't think so.
She is older and I remember that was oh my God, people were complaining about that when the game came out. They were
Oh
mad that
yeah,
Ellie looked like kind
like
of a
like
bruiser. It's like,
oh
why would she not
uh,
look like that? She's
right,
fucking, she's living this like rough and tumble life. She's got to fight fucking clickers and like fight
yeah,
off crazy people. Why would she be this like dainty lady who's like, why
yeah.
don't you come up and see me sometime? Like
My
no,
only
she's gonna look like a badass.
Yeah, my only complaint about this episode was Ellie. I agree, Ellie was always kind of a pain in the ass, but like in the first season, she was a child, and she really loved Joel like a dad, and I guess it makes sense, but now she's this surly teenager. She's all pissed off at everyone. She's pissed off at Joel. We don't really know why. I'm
Yeah.
assuming it's because she's just a teen, but like I don't know. I mean, is that the show I'm watching here? Is there
I think that all that shit's gonna change real quick.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know.
I don't know,
You
but
like her girlfriend?
oh yeah, yeah.
Dora, the woman. That's not the girl played Dora the Explorer. It's not
Oh,
the
I don't
same
know.
actress. It's not the same actress.
um, but I'll tell you, the scene with them in the grocery store was great, or the what that grocery warehouse. That was a great
I don't remember that
scene.
scene.
No, that was when yeah, you did. It was when they broke into that thing, and that's where Ellie got attacked by the intelligent
Oh
clicker.
yeah, and then you've learned that like they're a little different. Like this one
Yes,
was
it was
different from the
stalking her.
yeah, like it was they're like evolving.
Yeah, um,
Makes sense.
yeah, it was a
Like I
great
don't think
scene.
the zombies in Walking Dead ever really evolved. They like
They
uh
got dumber, if anything. They're
they would turn into
decaying.
mush. I mean,
Yeah,
the zombies that were like 5, 10 years old, they like you'd stick a knife and they just go through like butter because they're just
yeah,
like, decaying. That's why I always liked 28 Days Later.
yeah.
They
They
were
just
able to
die.
like they were able to kind of like lock these things and they just starved to death.
Yeah,
They starved them out. Like that's how they were able to kill them over time was by you see them like decaying on the side, like them all emaciated, like on the side
yeah,
of a mountain in the end. Um, Walking Dead kind of implied that too, where it's like zombies that are just like,
yeah. Makes sense.
I mean, But then if you go by the George Romero one, there's the whole Zombies Start to Evolve, which is kind of weird because it's
Yeah,
like, well, wouldn't they just be human
that
again?
yeah.
Which
I
they
didn't.
kind of did that too in that Zack Snyder one. Because remember that guy who has the helmet, the zombie leader?
Yeah,
Yeah, I liked he had a cape. I thought that was so funny.
yeah. It's I don't know. I would say that this was a good show. It does end very strong because you have our two heroes, Ellie and Zach. Not Zach. Ellie and Joel, not even talking to each other, and they're both kind of real sad and angsty. And then you see the twin threats of um tendrils coming out of the pipe, and you see Abby's posse
Yep.
roll up, and they and the town is in the distance, so you know it's going to get bad soon. You just don't
I
know
do
how.
like, I think people need to understand something too. So, like in the episode when they're at the dance and that one guy complains about them,
Yeah,
like oh, it's indecent, and then Joel like body
right.
checks him. That might have been a little extreme, but whatever.
Yeah,
Fuck that guy. But think about
yeah,
the world they come from. The world, in a way, freezes in 2003.
yeah,
There's no gay marriage legal. It was never
right,
legalized. It was never really culturally accepted in any way. So why would it be much different
right.
for, I mean, there's still assholes that would do that, but I mean, like, in theory, they would be way more homophobic in some
Yeah,
cases. I mean, obviously, the world's different. People wouldn't give a shit. They'd be like starting societies over.
sure.
They said that that is probably the most that where they live, it's like kind of communist in a way.
Yeah,
It is. It's like they run it like communism. They said it. They said in the last
yeah,
season, the communist society, but like a real communist, not like a fucking Mao or
yeah,
uh fucking fucking Stalin or something like that.
yeah.
But he they said like communities would there that's what would happen. People would just come together. Like it's
Yeah.
like something in our nature. There's always will be people who want to be recluses in some sort, but this
No, but people are social. I mean, we're clearly social pack animals, or however you want to say it. um
people
and
die if they don't have. I mean, they say that
yes,
people die of loneliness.
yeah. That yeah,
Yeah.
that is real. That is it is real true. I would say that it's interesting that the whole first season, Ellie really was trying to latch on to Joel, and Joel was like rebuffing her. And then this season, we see Joel really trying to latch on to Ellie, and Ellie rebuffing him. It's almost like a reverse dynamic. Uh, I don't know. It was sad, I mean, it was real sad because like Joel, he's a good guy. He was trying to help Ellie out and
His
everything, and
daughter was
Ellie just
killed, which is
yeah,
kind of crazy. That first episode, she dies the day
yep,
it all starts, and Ellie's kind of like his. It's like his daughter.
became yeah,
But I
became
mean,
his
honestly, that probably would have happened if his daughter lived. That probably would have happened too, because
yeah,
teenagers suck.
they do, they
Yeah.
do, So I don't know. I'm excited
You
for the
hear that?
show.
Any teenagers listening? Fucking suck.
I'm excited for the show. See
They're
see
like,
where it
yeah, we know
goes.
we do. Chicken jockey.
Oh
There you
fuck.
go. That's for the kids, listening to this.
Mm.
Now it's time to throw a TV out the window, whatever it is you do when you hear the term chicken jockey.
Uh, well, anyway, so that was
We lost 20 people that day when they said chicken jockey in the theater.
um the next thing we
I
watched
still
was
don't get it.
yeah, I don't either. Was Black Mirror. Season 7 came out. You watched it before me,
Well,
and
the first one I
I
watched was the Cowster one. That was the one I
yes.
wanted to watch. I watched that one first. That's the last episode. What do you think of
Yes,
the Cowster sequel?
I thought it was good. I thought it was good.
I
I
just
thought it
love
was
the guy from I mean, he's been in so much stuff, but he's like one of the creepy people in Always Sunny.
oh
The guy who
God,
runs
what
the
is it?
company. The one who
Yeah.
basically, and then you find out so there's always like a little twist with Black Mirror.
Yes.
There's always something in Black Mirror where you think you're watching your world, but there's some kind of technology that does not exist in our world and probably never will. And
Right.
that allows them to create this story. So the big thing with um with the Callister episode is, okay, we know there's big open world gaming and streaming and people playing it all over the world. But the
Right.
thing we don't have in this society, as far as we know, is the ability to clone people, like literally clone people
Yeah.
into like a game or something,
Yes.
which is still kind of weird and hard to explain. So in the end of the last episode, the crew, they basically kill, I always will call him Todd, even though from Breaking Bad.
Yes.
He's
Jesse.
a great
Yeah.
actor. He's really
He's
good.
good.
He's like, I remember he has like that one scene in like Civil War, and he's so good in that. It's like the best scene in the movie. Um, what's his name?
Jesse
Meth.
Plemons.
What? Yeah, Meth Damon. They call him Meth Damon.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's Jimmy. No, what is his name? Yeah, Jesse Plemons.
Yeah, yeah. So he played like this. He played like the guy who created the game, and I like how they show you in the beginning. So he's been like basically in his garage or a version of his garage where he's basically the god of the game. He's making worlds,
Yeah.
and you don't know how long he's been in there. Like he could
Right.
have like, even though it's probably a couple of years, but his character could have been in there in some weird theory, like million years.
Sure.
And he's like, the guy never showed up, came back, and then she's there, and he basically turns back. It's like he always was some kind of creep. Like it didn't
Yeah.
matter. It's like, um, but the crew is trying to stay alive in this world, so they're stealing people's credits so they can live.
Yeah.
They're stealing
Run
like,
by crime lord Sophia Falcone.
yeah, Sophia Falcone. Yeah. Now she's great in this, and it's kind of
She's
fucked
really
up what
good.
happens. So her the outside version of her, the one that she's cloned from,
Yeah.
in theory, dies. She gets hit by a
Yeah.
car.
Right.
The fucking guy who owns the company, played by the. I like him when they find him. He's like a caveman or something.
Yeah.
He's like, he's like fucking he's a hole. They were making like what's his name? The Wilson, the ball, and that Tom Hanks movie.
Yeah. Castaway.
Yeah. I always loved that movie. It was really just a commercial for FedEx.
Yeah. There was a lot of FedEx in that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a big commercial for FedEx. I don't think people realize that. It's like, congrats, you just watched a movie. You didn't watch a movie. You watched a commercial for FedEx. I forgot what I was watching the other day. I don't know, it was like a TV show or a movie, and they're like, "Listen, this is really just like a commercial for. This movie's really just like a commercial for like soda.
Huh.
You're not really watching a movie. You're watching like a.
Right.
I don't know what it was. It might have been the studio. It might have been like one of the Black Mirror episodes. I don't know. There's just like a line. They brought it up. They pointed out basically. It's like, yeah, we basically made a giant commercial. Just happens to have like a story in it. But at the end of the day, it's a commercial for a product. That's like a lot of movies really are in the end anyway. But yeah, I don't even know where I'm going. They escape the world. I think they ended it by killing Jesse Plemons' character in that world. The game died. I think the game ended. So the crew is basically like Inner Space.
Yeah.
That movie Inner Space with Martin Short and Dennis Quaid. Not Randy Quaid.
Right.
Dennis Quaid's supposedly pretty nuts too. Not in a fun way like Randy. At the end of the day, it's like, can you really take Randy Quaid seriously? Dennis Quaid, I take seriously. I think that's scary. They end up like in her mind. Like, remember that? Oh, that was like the big joke. Is anytime the captain left the ship and the people were left behind, they would just watch like Atlanta Housewives or something.
Yeah.
I love the one woman who's like blue.
Oh yeah.
She's like the I don't know, executive assistant or something, and
she would be like the woman Kirk slept with.
They were making like a Green Woman reference.
Yeah.
In the real, but she is based on like, see, everybody in the crew is based on someone that works in the office. Because Jesse Plemons was like doing this bizarre. He was kidnapping them. No one knew that he was doing that. He was getting off on it. It was like super creepy. I mean, it was good as like an ending. It was just like it's not like groundbreaking. Yeah. It was just a fun episode.
Yeah, and the original was a good episode. This was a fun one. Yeah. I actually watched them in order. You had you texted me and said you watched the first episode. You watched it second, but then you went back and watched the first episode. You said it was real sad.
Yeah.
And I watched that first and then watched the rest of them.
Well, with
I thought,
Rashida Jones and I forgot the guy's name from the Egg Crowd.
yeah, it was really, really good.
It's
The first
fucked.
episode.
It's a fucked up episode. So
Yeah.
like, there's this couple. They're already like kind of approaching middle age, and I
Yep.
mean, these actors are not spring chickens.
Right.
They want to have this kid. It's like really tough. They're working on like she's like a teacher. He works like for like I don't even know a dock
Like a
or something.
factory or something.
So
Yeah.
they're just getting by, and they're spending lots of money on these like. But then she gets into this accident. Was it like a car wreck or what? Oh
I
no, what
think so.
happened to her? She had like a seizure. Like there was something in her brain.
Yeah,
And
she
she like basically,
collapsed at work,
yeah,
and then they investigated, and she had like a tumor in her brain.
but it was gonna kill her. She was basically
Right.
brain dead
Yeah.
at that point.
Yeah.
So then this woman shows up, she's like the wife from Blackish.
Yes.
I think she's the daughter of a famous, not Whitney Houston. Who's that from The
The
Wiz?
yeah, it is Diana Ross's kid.
Yeah, she's Diana Ross's kid.
Yes.
Man, just fucking Rashida Jones and everybody's a
Yeah.
fucking nepo baby on that show. I don't know
Right.
if he's a nepo baby, but he just has an accent. So she sells him this thing like your wife will be alive. It's like so fucking weird. It's like they basically back up her brain.
Yes.
Her brain it's like a joke on streaming, actually. It's a joke on like
Yeah.
subscription services and how they're constantly make them worse. So throughout the show, like all of a sudden I know, so she's on this like streaming service, and the joke is they only
Right.
have a radius, and they're like, "What's them? We're expanding." She has
Yeah,
to
but you
sleep.
can't
They're like, she's
leave.
gonna have to sleep a little longer, and then it gets to then things start to get weird, where she's sleeping eat like another 2 hours, and they're like, um, and then she starts doing commercials. She
Yeah.
gets in trouble at work because like she's just like it's all these like weird commercials that like what do they call that? Like where they're like kind of spyware, where they're like, you'll be talking to someone, all of a sudden, like whatever you were talking about, you go on your computer and all of a sudden now you
Right.
see a pop-up ad for it, and you're like, the fuck?
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the situation. And they go back to the place, and the woman at work says, like, oh, you see, you're on the standard practice. We now have like whatever is called plus.
Yeah.
And it just gets worse, and then the plus is like now plus is standard, and this is premium. And like they show like people like doing like it gets to the point where it's like now you have access to where you get like euphoria
Right.
and
You can
the
purchase
woman
like
like
sensations.
yeah, and you could tap into uh other people's talents. So you see the woman doing parkour in a commercial.
Yeah.
The episode just it's so fucked up. It just gets like worse and worse. They can't afford it anymore. He loses his job. He's doing all kinds of weird shit on the internet to make money from creeps, like where he
Yeah.
like pulls out teeth or he puts a mouse trap on his tongue and
Yeah.
like
It's
like
real. It's like these
so he
horrible,
could
humiliating things.
and the so like in the beginning the price was like 300 a month or whatever for this when it begins, but then it just keeps going up, and then it's like 1,000, 2,000, and the woman's horrible. I mean, she's trying to like sell it, but they even show her where she like loads up on the euphoria because she knows what she's doing is shit.
Yeah.
Because she's
Yeah.
so she it's like I'm not just a hair club president, I'm a member.
Right.
Remember that
Well,
guy?
yeah. You can tell towards the end that the Rashida Jones, the guy saves up a little bit of money to get her like a half hour of serenity, or I forget what they call it, but like
Yeah. And then
uh
she's like, I want to die. I don't want to live anymore. And
yeah.
then he basically
And
kills her with a pillow, right?
yeah, he says, do it. She says, do it while I'm not here, or something like that.
Yeah, because the
And
thing is, it's like you're not really there. Like you're not
yeah,
really, in a way, you're not really alive. Like
yeah,
when you go to sleep, there's no dreams. And they
right.
even say to her, like, oh, well, the reason why you're sleeping longer is because we're using you to expand the network.
Yeah,
And so it's like a good episode based on like it's a good episode based on like how subscription services keep getting worse, how you can't really own anything anymore. Like, and it's making, I love it too. It's like, because they're kind of making fun of Netflix in a way too.
Yeah,
Like, with the services keep getting more expensive. It's like, well, I had Disney Plus and it was standard. Okay, but now you just have the basic package. That's why you're getting all these commercials now. It's like, well, I didn't have commercials before. And now,
yeah,
oh, well, if you want no commercials, it's going to cost $10 more a month. And you're like, what the fuck? But
yeah.
imagine that with your fucking wife or husband, partner, and like they're not alive anymore. Not really.
No, not really. I mean, their body's alive, but their brain is just sort of like an algorithm of sorts.
Like it's
Um,
memories, and I guess she could think, but she couldn't live a normal life. And
no,
then it's like, yeah, I'm up for a half hour, but she wasn't
yeah,
really there. It's
it worked real well because it worked on a whole bunch of different levels. Like it was a critique of streaming, it was a critique of healthcare, it was a critique of like, um, all, people who like kind of lose one another because they're
yeah,
like always in their phones and stuff. Um, a critique against like what people do on the internet for money.
yeah.
It worked well on like
That is definitely the strongest episode of the season.
yeah, I
I mean, the
100% agree.
Callister one, the Callister I consider its like own special place. I
Yes, it
don't
was
judge it
fun.
with the rest
Right.
of the episodes. I always thought that was like a good one. It's kind of like almost like a movie. It was like an hour and a
Yep.
half. It was pretty much a movie.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't. So I'm going to rate them all based on these, and
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
Callister is its own thing.
Right. I thought this was a like a 9. I mean, it was clearly the strongest one of the season to me.
Yeah.
Um, it was real good.
The
The next
second
one was
one.
it
Okay,
was
go ahead.
also good. No, I
Oh
was
wait,
gonna say
remember
this.
that TikTok? You seen that TikTok with that guy, the kid who's like, I swore I sent it to you. Where is it?
You
I
could
did.
have.
I
Let me
know I
see.
sent it to you. Yeah, this. His name is Honey Boy, Homeboy Jenkins. Yeah, yeah, this is like,
Technology's is scary, innit? Imagine if you could
Yeah.
fuck a bloke in real life, yeah? Proper dystopian shit right there, yeah? Now imagine if, like, the iPhone was your actual fucking eye. Like, that'd be really freaking weird, right? Like, it'd be proper fucked. This is like techno dystopian
where?
shit, bro. We're right fucked, aren't we? Hey, we're American now. What would you think of your favorite actor doing something a little kooky with some technology, huh? Yeah, it's a little creepy, right? Danny DeVito's an android. How about we break your fucking heart now, huh? How about we tell you a story about how love transcends technology and the lengths that we would go to preserve the relationships we hold dearest? All right, back to the
Yeah.
kooky stuff. This one's about having heterosexual gay sex because it's in a game.
The video game.
Follow it up with yet another one about flow to your consciousness. I know.
I love that.
Yeah, that was good.
Technology is scary. That is really how the first couple of seasons were.
Yeah, yeah.
We're gonna do something. We're gonna take your favorite actor and do something fucked up with them. Remember that one episode? Was it with John Hamm or whatever? Where like it's like this technology where like you have like family that died or whatever, like a spouse or that died, and you want to relive those memories, and then they just get addicted to it, and the person like is not even
Oh
living their life
yeah.
anymore. They just keep reliving the they keep reliving
That
the
moment.
the moments, and they're not like at the end of the episode it's like sad because it's like they don't leave, they don't do anything, they're not living their
Right.
not they don't move on in any way. There is like something about moving on. You have to like be able to you grieve, you mourn.
Yeah, that was White Christmas.
And I think
That
John
was in
Hamm's
like season 2.
or was that was John Hamm in the one where you could literally get blocked by everybody, like no
That
one.
was him. Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, like no one sees him. It was like super fucked up. He's just like a white
Yeah.
noise, walking white noise. Okay, people
They
could just
have, yeah, yeah. They have a technology called Z eyes, so you can basically like block someone out of your life.
I thought one of the best episodes was the one with Ron Howard's daughter. Um
Which one was that?
it's the one where like everyone lives on social credits. The whole world
Oh
relies
yeah.
on it, and her life just keeps getting worse and worse.
Right.
It's like a social credit here and here, and
That
then
was
by the
yeah.
end, she's like nothing. Like she has
Right.
like I remember she gets picked up by this truck driver, and the woman's like, I don't give a fuck. Like, and because but the joke was there is still like that episode, it wasn't so far off. People do
Right.
or Instagram moments. People do live like we do have that. It's called your credit cards. It's your credit.
Yeah. It was there's a more than just a grain of truth to it. It adds some like significant real world truths to it. Which I think that this show works best when it has like a real life aspect to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
the second one was real good. You said you liked that one a whole bunch.
I did. That's definitely my second favorite. Out of the five,
Yeah.
minus the Callister, this was my favorite, and I feel like they get worse and worse as they go on. They're like not worse, but they just, they're not memorable.
Yeah.
I really like this one, the reality bending one. This is kind of plays off the whole Mandela effect and
Yeah.
gaslighting. It is. It's a form of the Mandela effect and
A lot of
gaslighting.
gaslighting.
So
Yeah.
the episode is like this woman works for this like gaming company or something, right? No, it was a
Yeah.
food company. It was like a food product company.
Oh yeah, because there was
And they
the
hired
peanut
this
allergy
woman,
thing.
and she talks about like how she knew her when she was younger, and like everyone made fun of her.
Hmm.
She was like a weirdo, and it's hard to tell if she was as much of a bully as the rest were. I guess if you would talk to her, she would think she wasn't a bully, but she probably was pretty
Right.
shitty to her. And then like as the episode goes along, there's all kinds of weird shit where all of a sudden now this woman, it went from being like the assistant to being like the top employee.
Yes.
And there's like a really creepy scene where like there's this woman freaking out in the office, like they keep drinking more milk.
Yeah, the almond
Who
milk.
keep drinking more almond milk? And then like there's a scene where the girl from the past, the blonde. So there's this blonde woman that is the new employee that
Yes.
the main girl is black. I don't know. I don't have the character's name. So
Yeah, yeah.
she remembers her and she's like, I don't want to work in here, whatever. But it just gets worse and worse. And like there's something up. Like, so there's this scene where like the blonde girl takes the almond milk out of the fridge and starts drinking in front of
Hmm.
her, like really creepily. And then she's like, what the fuck? And she drops on the ground. But then they show they get into a big fight. The woman's like, oh, stuck my almond milk. And they're watching the video and they watch the video and it's her doing it and not the blonde girl. And
Hmm.
you're like, what the fuck? So you basically find out there was this other character, another
Mm.
character that they went to high school with, who she hadn't talked to years. She finds out she's dead.
Mm.
So this girl was basically going off and getting revenge on
Okay.
people, and she basically invented had to alter reality, completely alter
Hmm.
reality, and she uses like some key, and then you find out she has like a whole. It's like one of those again. It's like one of those weird episodes where it's like it's so fantastical it can't exist.
Yes, there's
Or
clearly a very
like the Callister with the cloning and
right.
like, it doesn't like why would you even do that? It's like what's the point? It's weird. It's like
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some psychos that would be like that's going to be great for efficiency and employment.
Yeah.
It's like it is like a severance in some way too if you think about it.
Oh yeah, statewide
Yeah.
severance. Yeah,
Yeah. I'm sorry. What do you call it?
a statewide severance.
So that's what happens. Then she goes to the house. They get into a fight. They beat the shit out of each other. But like it is like a shootout in the end.
Hmm.
And like the blonde girl basically she dies. The cops,
Right.
the main girl ends up shooting the cops. She's like, fuck. And then what she does is she grabs the reality thing. And she
Hmm.
just starts going like, make me this, make me this, make me the emperor of the universe. And then in the end, she is literally emperor of the fucking
Yeah.
universe. Those cops are now like it looks like pyramids and it's a crazy ending. And it's like,
It is
I'm sure if
weird.
she wanted to, she could bring it all back to normal. But so I was thinking about this episode a lot, and it's interesting. So she had no qualms from her past. Her past didn't seem to affect her current life.
Right.
While the other girl, who was bullied by all these people,
Hmm.
she wanted revenge. She couldn't get over, and she wanted to like, she could have just killed all these people with just a thought,
Oh yeah.
but she wanted to slowly torture everybody. She did that with you find that out. She basically went down and killed there's like a photo they show, and she basically
Hmm.
killed everybody. And that the main girl was probably like the last one. So it's just funny how she made her that she would go emperor of the universe, just like crazy.
Right.
Like, hey, I mean, she doesn't have the damage that the other girl has.
Hmm.
So she could think bigger picture. The other one was just like, I'm gonna use this alternate
Right.
reality stuff to just slowly torture people. And the other one was
Yeah.
like,
No forward
I'm going to
thinking.
become emperor of the universe, which is the thought and hitting the button.
Yeah.
No, but do you know what I'm saying though? Like how
Oh
like
yeah.
it's like this person was like damaged. You almost think about that. It's like fucked up. And but it's also crazy that she had this like technology.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like it too when she's like, "Oh, I have like 30 of these remotes." You think that's the only like you think like the key or whatever she hits, she thought
Hmm.
that was like the only one, and it's like no, it works off this big. I don't know. She said it was like in her basement or something, the reality thing,
Yeah.
and she had like a whole bunch of those keys.
Yeah. Jeez.
I don't know. I like the episode a lot. I thought that was definitely like.
I thought it was real good. Yeah.
Well, again, it plays up the whole Mandela effect and I mean, it was like gaslighting 101, the whole thing of it,
Hmm.
where you don't even know your reality anymore. You know, it's like when
Yeah.
someone tries to create scenarios that didn't happen, or or distort a scenario that favors somebody from like what happened.
Right. Yeah. There'll be a
And then
record of it somewhere.
yeah. Okay, the next one was the game one. It had Peter Capaldi in it. It's kind of a sequel to the Bandersnatch episode. It
It
was all
was
right.
fine.
It
Yeah.
was all right. I don't even care. We don't even have to get into it. I'm not gonna talk about every episode.
Yeah. I was gonna say the rest of them.
The other one
And
with I forgot she was on this show on HBO. I always like that actress. The one who what's the name of that episode? Oh, let's go to Netflix.
yeah.
It was like a long episode. It was the one where like this actress gets this job to basically where you find out it's like we're just gonna update old movies and we're gonna take
Okay.
characters
Yeah.
out and just put a new update. So they cast this woman like it's a straight white male in the episode, and they cast a black woman to be in that exact role where she
Oh,
would
that's
be a
funny.
lesbian. And it was funny about that. It sounds like that fucking South Park episode where Cartman is like pretending to
Yeah.
be the woman from Lucasfilm.
uh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
It was kind of funny, the whole like, what was it like? Put a black person, put a black woman in and make sure they pay and make it lame.
Yeah. That's funny.
Oh God, that episode was actually ended up not being that bad. I think people just watched
Mm.
that scene and thought like the episode was favoring that, and the episode was actually making fun of people who are like
Right. Real gung
act
ho.
like that, like they get
Mm.
they freak out over things. All right, where do we go to Netflix? I just want to get the name of this actress.
Right.
Um, it was all right. You know, she's like living in this world, and it's like you have to follow the script, and if you don't follow the script, like
Yeah.
you're in the set. It's weird. You're in this like they create this like virtual world. They're filming the movie. You have to say the lines. You can't really change things because these people aren't alive. But then like something happens and like the thing gets shut down, and she basically has this like I don't even know how much time passed. Weeks, months,
I
years.
think. Yeah. What
And
you're
she
talking
has this
about
like
the.
love affair with the woman, this actress who comes from a different time, and you find out she was like never married this woman. I think she died
Yeah.
of a drug overdose or whatever. You basically find out she was like she was a
Mm.
lesbian. It was from like the 20s or 30s, this movie.
Yeah.
Let me see though.
Huh.
I want to get that. Okay.
The actress.
It was
Yeah.
called
I don't.
Hotel. Okay, so Betty Nowhere was the last episode with the young woman and unnerved with old acquaintance joins the company. Common People was first up, but this one's called Reverie.
Reverie.
High-tech remake of a classic film sends a A-list star into another dimension where she must stick to the script. So it's like
Mm.
weird. She finishes the script, but like in the end, she gets this like device. She's in the real
Yeah.
world, and she could call the woman like in that world.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. Um.
It was okay. It was okay. It was
Yeah.
not. It was an interesting episode, but I don't know. I felt like it kind of reminded me a bit of that. What was it called? The one with the afterlife with the it took place in the 80s. Like it looked like an 80s California
Mm,
movie. We talked about it, and it ends up being about these lesbians that live in like a virtual world.
yeah.
And people go.
I forget. Geez, I know exactly what
You
you're talking
just
about,
said
but I
it
forget
like
the
before we
name.
started. It was like Sand something.
Oh, the San Junipero or
Yeah,
something. I
yeah.
thought you were
It
talking
kind of
about it.
reminded me of that a little bit in some ways.
Yeah. I thought they were trying to kind of recapture that magic. I was trying to think of Kick the Can, which is what I said It was a Twilight
Yeah,
Zone
it looked like
episode.
they
It
were trying to
reminded me of
it was like okay. Plaything is that episode with Peter Capaldi.
Doctor Who. Yeah.
Yeah. That one was like okay. And then there's Eulogy, which has fuck, what's his name?
Eulogy had
Uh,
Paul Giamatti. Yeah.
he'll always be something Hog, whatever his name is,
Yeah.
from the Howard Stern movie.
Yeah. Um, yeah,
They talk like this.
I thought that one was not great.
It
I
was all
like
right.
Paul Giamatti's fantastic.
If I watched them in order, it would have been a good, like, boring one before the Callister.
Yes, yeah,
Because I saw Callister first, this one I watched the last, and so each episode kind of just got weaker as I went along.
yeah. I thought
Until you get to the Callister.
1, 2, and 6 were all good. That's the first one, which was Common People. The second, which one was Bête Noire, and the last one was called USS Callister Into Infinity. I thought it was a perfectly fine season. You know, I mean, there are some, I don't know if I'd say they're misses, but there are some I didn't enjoy, and there's some real good hits. You know what I meant to mention? I meant to mention this when we were talking about Last of Us. I accidentally started to watch that on the ASL channel on HBO Max. Have you ever done that?
ASL, what is that?
American Sign Language.
Is there?
So,
there. Okay.
It's like little Crow T robot or Tom Servo at the bottom, but they're doing sign language.
Oh, I've never seen that. I've seen the one where I accidentally for visually impaired, and there'll be this person explaining the scenes.
Yes.
And I remember there was this show we were watching. So there was a show they watched that was from Spain. And the funny thing is, Paul Giamatti was in the sequel show.
Okay.
So in the first season, the only one they had, if you wanted to watch non-subtitle episode,
right,
the only way to watch it was to watch the visually impaired one. So you would hear like dubbing of the actors or something.
Weird.
But then there would be a person explaining it, and I'm like,
right,
wait, why do you? Because there was no dubbed.
No, they did
available.
all closed captioning. Yeah.
The only one that was available was the visually impaired one, where they dubbed it, but then had a person explaining everything too, and it was a nightmare watching it. I was awful. I was like, I can't watch this. This is weird.
Well, this was real weird because it was the show, and then whenever someone spoke, literally, like if you look at my screen here,
did that, but now I feel like I want to put it on for.
There's a little dude that like pops up like this, and then like sign language is real quick, and then like pops down. It's so obtrusive. It's
I always
really
like when a politician is talking at a speech, and it could be like the most fucking fascist right-wing politician.
Yeah.
And they'll just get like this dude who's like definitely in a polyamorous relationship with like probably men and women. He looks like he's got a braid, and he's just like
no,
they're always very artsy looking, and then they'll be in the corner next to this like fucking fascist right Christian Nazi. And then you have like this hippie in the corner, just like fucking doing the meringue.
No, when you watch Last of Us next, go on HBO, and I think I accidentally clicked on the "You Might Also Like" feature, because the first item on the "You Might Also Like" is actually that show, but with the American Sign Language guy, and I watched that for like 5 minutes. I was like, this is driving me crazy. And so I went back and realized it's its own stream. You know, it's not like a feature you can turn on and off. It's literally, that's the show. It's just a different version of it.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, it was very weird.
All right, so then there's Handmaid's Tale. I mean, episodes into it. We don't need to talk about it completely. Like a lot of stuff has happened, but I feel like at the same time, not a lot has happened.
That was my complaint to you when I was texting about it today. I have kind of a love-hate relationship with the show. I mean, I think it's a really important show because this is like modern life now. You know, I mean, it's
becoming more and more reality every day in some form.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a fascist right-wing takeover. I mean,
yeah.
You know, in this world, birth rates go down, and then like this extreme fascist group takes over. So we were talking about like one of the best characters on the show is this Bradley Whitford character, and he plays like he's one of the commanders, but really he's like a de facto commander because he's like the guy who is considered like the architect to the Gilead.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
from what I imagine, he probably was this theorist, this writer who was kind of a crackpot, probably wasn't well respected, he had this
He's like
idea of like how to
like
get
Jordan
Earth.
Peterson.
No, Jordan Peterson's a straight up fascist, so no, that's not a good example.
He looks like Jordan Peterson.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
He does a lot.
Peter Capaldi looks more like Jordan Peterson than Bradley Whitford.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
anyway,
I wouldn't say that. No, I wouldn't say he's like a Jordan Peterson because Jordan Peterson's just a fascist propagandist.
Yeah, this guy.
No, this guy looks like he's somebody who had some ideas. He wasn't respected, and then this group came along and was like, "Hey, we like what you're doing. We'll take your ideas."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Fuck!" And he knew like he was getting the attention he probably always wanted, his ideas. And he's like, "Look, they're listening to me." And then you find out like they're putting people on the fucking wall, and they're like raping people and doing all kinds of fucked up shit. And he gets to live in this like he got to live in this secluded mansion with his wife, who was kind of nuts. You meet the character in season 2. It's like how he had all this art. He just had like special favors. He was able to do kind of like, he didn't really interact with people. But now that he's taken on more of an outside leadership role with New Bethlehem, now you have to get like a new wife. He didn't want to get one. You said you thought he was gay. I said, no, he was just in love with his first wife so much that, and
yes,
they stuck him with
said
that woman who is funny.
Is it Esther? Is that her name? I think I'm getting that wrong.
It's like the other. So there's Serena, and she was kind of like, she's been around since the first season. She was the wife of the guy who. So there's that redhead who gets her eye removed.
Janine.
I always thought that was fucked up. It's like, wasn't it Lydia that had her eye removed? I mean, like, she was like kind of crazy, and that lady is like thinks it's like her daughter. I don't know. I guess it's like
the
Darth
very
Vader cutting off
first
Luke's hand.
episode. I think they were like shocking Janine with a cattle prod, and they were like, she was getting fucked up from day one.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
This place.
But she gets like the guy. You find out the guy's like having sex with her outside the ritual. There's a ritual where the woman's there and they hold down the handmaid basically, so it looks like the woman's having sex. I always thought the funniest thing on the show is like when the handmaid is giving birth, the teal women in the other room are doing like this weird simulation birth, like they're giving birth too, and it's like, oh god, it's so weird and fucking gross.
It's very culty.
Gilead's definitely a cult. I mean, so that woman is the wife of that guy. He gets his hand removed, but then like in the later season, he just gets, I think they execute him. He gets killed. So she doesn't have a husband, and they pair her up with Bradley Whitford's character, and he wants nothing to do with her.
Right. And I thought this character has always kind of confused me. I was like sporadic in watching this show early on. And have been all the way through. I was like, I wonder if he's gay, because like I know they kill gay people in Gilead. That's
I don't think he was. I think he just was in love with his wife. He's probably
That's what
he's not some sexual fiend. It's like he just loved his wife, and his wife died. It's sad what happened to her. I forgot how she dies too, but she was mentally unwell. Like she was on all kinds of medication. Like
well. He's an odd character because you're right. He is responsible for Gilead, but he was never like he was never really a true believer in it. He wasn't.
Yeah, I think he's one of those people who want attention, and the wrong people gave him the attention.
Yeah.
I think that's it. He wasn't respected. His ideas were probably crazy at the time, and this fascist group that was rising in America was like, oh yeah, well. It's the one interesting thing about that show is that like, is it like a 10-year, the whole thing, like a 10-year period? Like Gilead's only like 10 years old in a way. Like when it starts, like I feel like the flashbacks are just like 5 years before or something when she.
Because they all look relatively
the same.
you
And
know?
well, it has to be like 5 years anyway, because the girl was like 4 when they get captured, when they're trying to escape Gilead, before she becomes a handmaid.
The
And they
girl's
have
like
the
4 or 5.
The daughter is like 4 or 5,
And I
and
think
then
she's
when
like
she
12
sees
now.
her, now she's like a teenager almost. But in like the first season, when she sees her, she was like 9 or 10.
Okay.
She didn't like
Yeah,
really
okay.
recognize her anymore. I remember when she talks to like the mom. That I've seen that actress in a bunch of stuff. The woman that ends up having the kid,
Yeah.
and the thing that's fucked up about Gilead, and this is why the Bradley Whitford character hates it too, is that like there's a daughter, and it's not his daughter. It's basically it's the redhead with the one with the eye patches daughter that she
Janine's
had
kid.
with,
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, it's her kid, really. I mean,
Right.
the commander had
That's the
sex with her,
biological
but she's
mother.
the one who
Yeah.
gave birth. It was her fucking kid. It's her genes. It's her daughter.
Yeah.
June has a daughter like that. I think it ended up being like Jason's kid, though. It's right,
Yeah,
isn't
that
that?
sounds
I think it's Jason's kid, because like the thing is, like, I don't know, his sperm didn't work or something.
right.
I forgot his name. Joseph Fiennes was the commander.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
He yeah, I know he's been dead a while. So it was like so it's just interesting. And the scary thing is, like, you could have a kid, even the commander could have a kid, and they could take that girl away from a
Yeah.
commander.
That's the thing is that yeah, the
No women are safe in Gilead. If they think that you're
none.
someone that could bear,
Yeah.
they could throw you in Handmaid, or they'll
Yep.
throw you in that like toxic waste where you see Alexis Bledell's character end up before
Yeah.
I don't know, she left the show, so we know
The
like
colonies.
she was like the second lead. The girl from
Yeah.
Rory from Gilmore
I
Girls, like,
I think she was a or is a producer too.
well, maybe her name's still attached, but she left the show. Like, they
Yeah.
basically wrote her out. I don't know. She didn't want to do it anymore. I don't know what the fuck happened. They had some kind of weird falling out, because her character was considered like the second lead. Like,
Yeah.
when they weren't focusing on June or her family, they were focusing on her, because she was like a lesbian. She had a lesbian
That's right.
relationship,
Yeah.
and they like didn't they remove something from her so she couldn't have any sensation down there? I think they
Yeah.
removed her clit.
Yeah, I think it was a
There's like
clitorectomy
an
or something.
operation, yeah.
Yeah.
So 'cause she was like, they do all kinds of horrible things to women. They still do, and it's so funny. Like, Serena had a finger removed. Like, she's supposed to be like on the same level as all these other women who were like fucking tortured. Okay, so
Right.
the Martha, okay, the Martha who is living in Canada, and then she goes back
Okay.
to Serena's like all nice to her, whatever. But
Right. Yeah. In New
slap me all
Bethlehem.
the time, you fucking bitch. Like,
Yeah.
she used to beat the shit out of her. But her was that her daughter?
I
That
don't
woman? Or was that her
I,
love? Like, was that her lesbian wife? Or I don't even know.
I
Like
don't think so.
I was like, that girl cannot, like, how old is this woman? Because this woman did not look young. The one that like no way that that's her kid. I was a little confused by that.
Yeah. That's a good question. I don't know. I did not get that impression.
I
Um
thought that she said that her kid would she was gonna finally see her kid. She was getting reunited with her kid because she hasn't seen the kid in years, and that Bethlehem was supposed to be this like safe place that's kind of outside of all the
yeah.
rules of Gilead a bit of, like,
I,
it's a reformed
it seemed like how China does with Shanghai, where it's like this is part of our country, but it's a different kind of part.
we have
They have
culture here. There's bands
yeah.
to play, there's good restaurants, you could drink here. That's kind of like
Well,
how, what is it, like Emirates are, the Arab Emirate or whatever it is.
oh yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, the United Arab Emirates.
So I think
What
you
one
could,
of
like, in theory, I think you could party up there. It's a city, and
yeah, they like there's places where they look
they
the other
get,
way.
like, they want to be able to do business. They want people to come in and have fun. And I feel like this is what Gilead's doing, where it's like, Bradley Whitford's character is delusional. I think Serena really does like the shitty version more. I think she really
Yeah,
likes that. She just wants to have power. That's all.
yeah,
Like, so the thing I love about this show is there's June's character, and then there's Serena.
yeah,
Serena is this shitty person, this fucking extreme. She was basically like, they showed her in the past. She was a right-wing author. kind
Yeah.
of like a fucking Ann Coulter or
Like an Ann
whatever.
Coulter type.
Except it was
Yeah.
existing in this world, and she pushes these lies like the environment is better. Gilead saved this. Gilead said that. It's like Trump saying he saved the economy, even though he like
Right.
crashed it like 12 times in 1 week. It's like
Yeah.
where Trump supporter says like he's doing everything he said he would. It's like the same
Yeah.
bullshit. It's like, is the weather really cleaner in Gilead? I guess. I mean, you know what I mean? Yeah, you
Mm.
didn't use technology for years, so of course things got better. Look what happened with COVID. Remember when like
Right.
the city shut down for like a
Yeah.
week, and all of a sudden there was like fish coming
No
back.
pollution. Yeah.
Yeah, the pollution went down. It was like, this is how you save global warming. You get rid of us.
Right. You get rid of the people. Yeah.
We're
Um,
Earth is gonna burp us right off one day. It's just gonna say, I need to cool down a bit. Bye bye.
well, New Gilead, I mean, New Bethlehem seems to me like
I
the
think it's too
people,
good to be true.
yeah, I'm reading into this a little bit, but one of them says, I think it's Lawrence. I think it's the weird guy
Brandon Whitford.
says, yeah, I think he says like we need to trade. We need people. We need money. We're not going to make it unless we get engaged
Yeah,
with
Gilead's not gonna last if
right.
they're not like inviting countries in, bringing refugees,
Yes.
being a safe place for refugees to come back.
It's like when the Taliban wanted to be recognized as a legitimate government.
That's why
So
North Korea is never going to be recognized as a legitimate government
yeah,
because they're like that's just a fact.
completely isolated. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think they're doing New Bethlehem, and I think it is a ruse. But I think it's like, hey, we're going to loosen up the rules here. We're going to welcome back some refugees, and we're going to make nice with everyone while gradually chipping away at their rights. But this will get international trade
Yeah.
going. This will get us, and so it is a bullshit. It's a bullshit
It's a trap.
compromise.
I mean, maybe
Yeah.
Bradley Whitford's gonna. I still believe that in the end, his character's gonna get killed. He's gonna end up being something's gonna happen. He's either gonna sacrifice himself. I don't think he's gonna live in the end.
Yeah, I think that I thought that of the character Nick too after he wanted to say goodbye to June.
Oh, he's so
And
dead.
yeah,
He's
and
so
she was like, "Oh, see you
I
later."
feel
We'll
like
see.
okay, so so we talked about this last season. There was this new commander, who's played by this actor. I've seen him in other stuff. Kind of plays like
Yeah,
creeps all the time. And he
yeah,
was like, they introduced this guy. It was like, okay, this guy's gonna be like the big bad commander,
right.
like the big bad. We used to call him big bads in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. They'd be the big
Yes,
bad villain that they would fight, and it would lead. They're playing around in the background, and then the last couple
yeah,
episodes is the big battle, and that's what I felt like they were doing with this show. It's like, here's the Uber commander. And he's a
right.
fucking prick, and I think he was. So Jason marries this woman, and they're having their own kid. That's the crazy part. It's like unusual. The woman can have
Right.
her
A child,
own,
biological
yeah,
kid.
which is like a rarity. Which Jason's probably like good, because then he doesn't have to do the
Right,
whole
right.
fucking handmaid thing. But like, and they're living in New Bethlehem, and he's kind of moved up in the ranks too, even though he's still kind of doing weird, like, he's playing both sides a little bit. He's helping the American leader guy out. Dollar Store Aaron Eckhart.
Right, right.
That's he looks like Aaron Eckhart a little bit. The guy who played
Yeah,
Two
I can
Face
see
and
that.
Batman a bit.
Yep.
It's funny, real quick. People always said
Mm.
like, what happened to that guy, Aaron Eckhart? It's like he was like all this stuff, and now he's like in these like shitty low budget like action movies.
Yeah,
And I guess the story, it's like they said, it's like one of these things. It's like supposedly he's a prick. He's hard to work with.
mm.
I don't want to work with him. And then there was like Abigail Breslin, or whatever her name is. She was the little girl in that Little Miss
Yeah,
Sunshine movie. She's been in a bunch of
yeah.
stuff. I guess she worked with him on something and supposedly he was like
Oh,
abusive and horrible. I don't know. But I
that's
think
weird. He was in. Everyone hated it, but I really liked it. That movie, Battle of Los Angeles.
I remember that.
It was an alien invasion movie. It was a
I think I
standard.
kind of remember that.
I loved it. I thought it was so good. But it was widely panned. I mean,
Like
no,
an
very few
asylum
people like
movie
it.
with, like 10 extra bucks.
Yeah.
An asylum movie with like another million to play with.
Yes. Yeah.
Hey, instead of getting the guy from 90210, why don't we have a little extra money? We get Aaron Eckhart to be in it.
Yeah. Well, this was when he was still kind of a hot actor, I believe. I think he was
I feel
coming
like
off Batman.
I think it's like one of the okay, from what I remember, I think it's like one of those movies where it's like one of those movies that like didn't get released yet, and then it gets released after he's in a bigger project.
That could be. Yeah.
That's like what happened with like Chris Hemsworth. Like he was
Yep.
already Thor, and he was going to be in the Avengers, but then like that shitty Red Dawn movie, which he's in,
Yeah.
he released it and they were able to get it out because it was his name was attached.
Well, they released also, even though it was pretty good, I thought, was Cabin in the Woods came out after
I
he
think
got
that did
big.
help it get released. Cabin Woods was amazing. Bradley Whitford's in it.
Oh,
He's one of the
yeah.
guys. There's these two guys at work and they have bets in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a great movie. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
I like that.
That guy's been around. He's just always been good and stuff, Bradley Whitford.
Yeah.
And when they brought him onto this show, I was like, okay. I still
Right.
think he's great in Get Out. Hey, I would have
Oh,
voted
yeah.
for Obama a third time.
Right.
I just remember the brother was so creepy and Get Out.
Yeah.
Oh god, like that's when he knew it was bad news when he showed up.
Yeah.
He gave away the game too easily because he was
Yeah.
such a creep. Okay. So the thing I like about this show, Handmaid's Tale, before we move on. Well, one, I like the setup. I like the way they set up the whole thing with like her friends and they join
Yeah.
the military. That's how the husband gets out of prison by basically saying, like, hey, I'm working in the military with America. There's only
Right.
2 states left. What is it? It's like Alaska and
Yeah.
I think it might be Washington State or something.
It
But-
is Alaska's the big one.
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, 2 states.
Like Canada is not friendly anymore because Canada wants to do business with Gilead.
Yep.
They're recognizing it as a country, and that doesn't help the Americans, the
Right.
Americans, whatever you want to call it, because it's not America anymore; it's Gilead.
Yeah.
It's the episode. It's like when they're on the train. I love that scene in the train where Serena can't hold it in. She starts talking about how amazing Gilead was, and these people are like, they fucking removed my vagina and clawed out my eyes. My husband was killed in front of me, you fucking bitch. Oh yeah, they cut off my pinky.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cut off your fucking head.
Right.
Like, oh, they cut off your pinky. Oh, we're the same.
Right.
No, it might be her index finger. I think it was a bigger finger. Yeah, it is because
Oh.
you could see it like she wears. Like,
Yeah.
but even then, it's like, oh, you lost your finger. I lost my entire family, and they removed my
Right.
brain. I don't know how that person would be alive, but I love that. That was so good when the doctor's like, they're gonna arrest her, and then June's like, you want to get arrested. You want to get the fuck off this train. We talked about this last week. Remember that was like when
Yeah. And
remember the
I had
cop?
not.
I love when the cop shows up to arrest her, and the cop's like, I didn't see her do anything wrong, and then he
Yeah.
kind of whispers like how his wife and kid were killed, and he's like,
Right.
fuck you, bitch. I hope they claw
Yeah.
you. They were gonna fucking rip her apart.
Oh yeah.
And she
Yeah, that
should
was
have,
it.
man. June's gonna regret it. I still think Serena's gonna have a big old heel turn again. That's when I said to you, I didn't want to ruin it last week. I said it's like it starts with them in the train, but then it kind of gets by everybody back in their places again. Serena's back.
A reset. Yeah.
Like, well, she gets kicked off. I love when June literally kicks her off the fucking train.
Yeah.
That was funny. I wasn't going fast enough to kill her, and then she ends up in that like commune. It seems like it's like, you know, it's funny. Everything like there's like nuns, and like sometimes these nuns are like super progressive, and they don't wear like they're nuns, but they don't wear the garb.
Right.
I feel like that's where she ends up. There's like a very
I can
religious,
see that. Yeah.
all women. But then I guess they knew where she was, and that's when Bradley Whitford pulled up to get her back into New Bethlehem.
Yeah. Oh,
But I just feel like she really likes Gilead. She wants Gilead to be good.
Oh, that's her.
She just wants power. She wants to have her cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
And I feel like the guy, like I said, they recast. I'm assuming it's I think it's the same character, but it's a different actor. And I've seen that guy in a bunch of stuff. He's the one that's kind of wooing her right now. Like he's making her dinner. Like he said he never liked having Martha's because he always makes her. Like he seems like he's kind of like a nice guy. He seems pretty like yeah, you know, Jesus was a radical too, man. You know, like one of those guys.
Yes,
hey,
like the he gets me ad.
What?
Like the he gets me ad. He gets us ad. Like
yeah. He's kind of like hey, Gilly could be a little stuffy, but you know me, I could listen to Green Day once in a while.
Right. Yeah.
I watched South Park once. I know how to cut loose. I ate a taco with hot sauce on it one time.
Yeah.
He's like that, but I feel like he's gonna reveal his true colors, and so he's either gonna be like a really nice guy, and Serena just comes like a full-on bitch again, or he's the most evil motherfucker, and he'll show his hand soon.
Yeah.
Because he's like kind of part of it, but I have a feeling like no way in hell they're gonna keep it. They're not gonna let it be this
Right.
safe haven. They want to trap these fucking people back in there. They want to turn them back into the fucking slaves again.
Yes.
They want all their refugees back. Get back here, and we're gonna fucking put you in a mine, or we're gonna make you a fucking martyr.
Colonies. Yeah.
What?
Colonies. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a quote where it's
Or we're gonna
like,
throw you in the Jezebels.
yeah, it was like Gilead can't be broken, it's got to be beaten or something. I forget how they said it, but it was basically like these, we've got to destroy these people.
Yeah.
And
It's like
that's
you can't deal with fascists. You
Yes,
can't
it's-
deal with them. You can't deal with Nazis.
no.
There's no.
Right. It'd be like if we had won World War II and we let the Nazi party stay in power with a promise that they'd be better. You know, I mean, like that's
I almost did in some fucked up way.
well, but
we did that with the South.
yeah,
We did that. Civil War was a disaster. There's a reason why Lincoln was killed.
yeah.
If Lincoln lived, I think the South would have been the South should have been a fucking 20-year project to fucking like, nah, motherfuckers, you're gonna be like this. You're in the Union and you get rid of all the old power
Right.
structures, you get rid of the fucking but no. They kind of let them go because they even said like after the Civil War, like there were black politicians. There were like it almost got pretty advanced, but the South was able to retain control, and that's why everything went backwards again, like within years. And then you had like the great revival of like the Klan in the 20s, and like the Civil War was. I mean, the South will always make these like the war of aggression. He's like, yeah, but in a way, you motherfuckers kind of won because like whoever the president was, I forgot, they took over after Lincoln was shot. They said he fucking fucked up the what did they call it? What
Reconstruction.
was it? Yeah, Reconstruction. It should have been. They didn't do half what they should have done.
No, they didn't.
And I think that's the thing with Gilead. It's like it has to be fucking destroyed. Like it has to be. You get rid of all of the power, all the leaders.
Well, that's their current plan is to start killing commanders.
Yeah, well, that's why they want to get into the Jezebels because they know.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, this is amazing. This is the best casting. To get like the worst person in the Jezebels. That fucking guy from Veep. That tall dude.
Oh, yeah.
Did you watch Veep?
I not entirely through, but yeah, I watched it.
Like, did you watch any episodes?
Yeah.
You remember there was like that tall, dumb guy? He was like you could tell he came from he's kind of like a Matt Gates type character.
Yeah.
He was like a doofus, and
he plays, if I'm thinking of the same guy, he plays that same basic bro character.
He's basically playing that character from Veep. If that character got to live in Gilead, he would act exactly the way he's acting in this show. And it's so funny. He's like torturing the redhead. Is it fucked up that I think that actress looks hotter than ever in this show?
Yeah, it's so weird. She does.
Cool eye patch and the sexy curly red hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, "Whoa, look at her,
Janine." Yeah,
she could stay there." yeah. I'm a strong feminist. Ally.
She's a real super tragic character.
Oh yeah, well her up like June. See, the thing about June is June lived a normal life. She had a kid. She clearly had a steady job. Her husband had a steady job. They were typical. They probably would have been upper middle class. They had friends. They lived in the city. They were metropolitan. They enjoyed going to brunch. They enjoyed going to movies, going to the museums. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
We should all be allowed to do that. We should all be able to have relief. We should all be able to have fun. We should all be able to just live our fucking lives. Not everybody wants to be a hustler. Not everybody wants to fucking be a politician. Not everyone wants to be a fucking baller. Some people just want to chill and hang out. And that's what I like about the June character. The June character has been fighting all season, the whole entire show, so she can go get brunch with her friend again.
Yeah.
That's what she wants. She just wants brunch. She wants to have fucking bottomless mimosa on a Saturday with fucking best friends.
Yeah.
Get fucked up, go to sleep during the day, wake up, watch a movie. And she, like, Serena's like, I'm gonna be queen of the world. She's like, fuck off. We're like, bitch, stop trying to call my fucking life, man. I just want to chill. I used to see all these douchebags. Like I think it was like after Biden won, there's be people on Twitter like, oh, it was like all the non-Bernie supporters like resistant libs, like, oh, we just want to go back to brunch again. They would make fun of that. I'm like, yeah, but like, what's wrong with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want Trump as president. I don't want to think about that. I want to just like have a regular life and not have to worry
Right.
about like
Normal life without.
at
Yeah.
some point my world is not going to be different because some fucking monster's gone to power. I'm sorry, like. Yeah, was the world perfect for that? No, there's people who live shitty lives. It sucks. That's how it is, unfortunately. It's like I think I made a joke about this last week. I said like you could have like 1 foot, and it doesn't matter because you have one more than someone who has no feet.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like,
Well, yeah.
could be worse.
I am excited to see kind of where this goes. I'm excited knowing it's the last season, and you're going to get some like action and resolution. I do feel like sometimes this show talks about stuff that would look cool if we got to see it, and instead we're just like speculating on it and commenting on it. There's a lot of like intrigue and kind of like Game of Thronesy mechanics, like who are they really allied with, what are their true motivations.
Did Lydia not know about the Jezebels? Aunt Lydia?
She knew.
No, I thought she didn't know it existed. I thought when she sees her and sees the place, she's like, what the fuck? Because that's the thing about the Jezebels, is it shows the hypocrisy of Gilead.
Yeah.
That this is this religion is not really like she's sitting there, she's all holy and like, blessed is the fruit. Like everything is like
Right.
serves a purpose. And that she goes to the Jezebels and it's like, the fuck is this? Like this is like pure hypocrisy. And
Yeah.
this shit's always existed. It's always been
You
like,
may be right. Yeah.
I don't think she knew. I don't think she knew it was. And because it shows the hypocrisy. It's like, look at all the
Right.
commandments. They're not with their wives. They're not doing the sacred
The ritual. Yeah.
ritual with the, like, oh, it's not rape. It's a ritual. And they only do
Right.
it like once in a while. And it has to be this ceremonial thing. Let me tell you, if I was the dude and there was a person and all that, I don't think I'd be like, this
Right. Yeah.
this is too weird. I'm sorry.
That's crazy.
This is weird. If you
You're
don't
making
fuck
it
her,
weird.
you're gonna get shot in the head.
Yeah, basically.
Didn't you say in the book that the joke was that most of these commanders were like, not that they were flaccid, but they were their
Impotent.
semen was no, like I thought they just had no swimmers.
Yeah.
And they
Well,
might have been-
that was the problem with society in general, is that they weren't producing children. It's kind of like that Children of Men dynamic.
That was such a good movie.
Yeah, that was good.
That was the scene. That was like in the early scenes with Alexa Bedell's character, where the commander she's with, and the guy has like a heart attack and dies trying to
Yeah.
fuck her. Yeah, that was a great scene, and I think she's like laughing or whatever. Yeah, no, I think that's like the big, yeah, but him bringing that guy from Veep, I'm like, it is the same. I love it. It's too
Yeah.
goofy almost. It's almost too goofy, actually.
For the show, yeah.
He is a little, he is that character. I mean, I like that actor. I've seen him in other stuff, but he's
Yeah.
playing the Veep character a little too much. And again, he's good at playing that like Matt Gaetz douchebag character.
He is. He's got like this bro vibe to him.
I'm just curious how many episodes, like, okay, we're 4 in.
Yeah.
How many did they say how many episodes it is? Is it
I
8 or
can
10?
tell you. Hold on.
Let me tell you, it's only 8. They better start fucking hitting the
right
gas pedal because it's. I feel like they're panning it
Season
out again.
6 has 10 episodes.
Okay, all right. I mean, I bet you something big will happen next week because it's gonna be like the midpoint.
Yeah.
I'm just curious how they're gonna wrap it up.
Well, I don't know. I know that I can tell you the last episode title, if you want. It's called
No. Living la vida loca.
It's called Copacabana. No, it's I don't know. We've talked about how the book ends, and I've talked about how the book ends where the book itself.
I want to.
Yeah, okay.
I don't want the show spoiled at all. I know the book. They're going to take it in its own direction. They're going to do its own thing. But it'd be great if the end of the show is June just gets to have brunch with her friends in the end. She's like, oh, I get that brunch again, but she's like she's not really having brunch. She's like in the smoke. Everybody's dead, and she's
Oh,
just
Jesus.
pretending. It's like the sad
Yeah.
ending. I'm curious if she's gonna get a daughter back though.
I
Hannah.
don't. Yeah. What is
I don't
Janine's
think. I
kid's
feel like the
name?
daughter's too
Angela?
old at this point. I mean, if anything, the only thing they could do is save the daughter from possibly being a handmaiden, which is
Well, the worst thing would be if the daughter goes full Gillian, like, and thinks, no, I like it. This is how it
yeah.
should be.
I
You know what
always
I
thought
mean?
it was
Like,
funny that what's her face was like in season 2, and she was like really annoying on the show. The one that everybody loves, Booby Girl, whatever her name is.
oh
Booby Girl.
God, I don't remember.
She was in a horrible Madam Web movie. She was like one of
Yeah,
the men.
Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she was
I
in
forgot
like
she was in this. Yeah,
yeah, she was like the wife given to Jason, and she was like,
yeah,
and Jason's like, no. But then she falls in
right.
love with the guard, and they kill both the guard and her. Yeah, she was super annoying.
Yeah,
I remember that. And then
yeah.
I started starting to pop up in things, and I was like, oh yeah, I can see.
All right. So Daredevil, we
Just
watched
making
the
pervert noises the rest of the episode.
we we watched the season
We like it.
finale of Daredevil, which was incredibly good. It was
Oh
the
yeah, this was like the fucking this episode. If you, I would tell people, you know what, fuck the rest of the show. Just watch this episode. If you have no
oh
interest in
yeah.
watching the show, just watch this episode.
Yeah, I mean, like the rest of the show kind of like leads up to this, and
Yeah,
it
but I
helps
mean, like,
you.
if you just want like a badass fights and just crazy
I
scenes,
would, yeah, I would watch the bank episode and then this episode.
I would
There's your
watch
show.
uh, the first episode. I don't know. Yeah, the bank episode's great. This one was just a banger though. This one was
Yeah,
like just
everything about it was
this was an
good.
intense. I mean, they spoilers. Fucking what's her face comes back. What's her name? The woman from True
Oh,
Blood.
yeah,
Karen Page.
yep,
I
yeah,
like how she has this like thing for Frank a little bit, the Punisher.
yeah, she does, yeah,
Because he even
yeah,
talks about like he could hear her heartbeat.
right.
I wonder though, I don't know if it's a sexual attraction. I think it's just like I don't know.
I think it's like the classic 1960s uh James Bond Moneypenny dynamic where she secretly likes him and has a crush on him, but she knows he's unhavable and he's kind of oblivious to it and doesn't really, and he's married to his work, which is
Murdering
popping
people.
caps and cops.
I like when he like fights people, he grunts. He's like,
Yeah.
I
He
think
was
it's
great.
funny. Like, yeah, I could see him as like a badass, but like in the end of the day, he's just a dude. Like Daredevil has these like,
Slightly supernatural powers.
he's like yeah, and like he is he's technically like a ninja. Like he was trained by like
Yeah,
Stick,
yeah,
the Hand, and like
right.
Miyagi,
Splinter.
Miyagi
Yep.
Do.
Splinter.
Yeah, Master Splinter. You know what's funny about you know what the deal with the Ninja Turtles are, right? You know it's a parody of Daredevil.
I didn't know that.
It's a
That makes
parody
sense, but
of Daredevil and a comic that Frank Miller made called Ronin. It was a direct
oh, okay.
parody, and if you look at the cover of the Ninja Turtles, it doesn't look that far off from the Ronin
Oh,
comic.
that's funny.
And yeah, let me look at the Ronin cover. It was meant to be like a joke, like it was played seriously, but then it ended up becoming
Yeah.
this huge property with like tons of toys. And I always love that too. It's like the comic's like incredibly violent, the original comic.
Yeah. Oh, I remember.
And then
I
like
remember.
Cowabunga, dudes.
Yeah, when I first heard of it, I was like working at a grocery store. I think I was still in high school. This was like in the mid 80s, late 80s. And it was like a real kind of edgy counterculture thing. And then like the next thing you know, it's like they're on Pizza Hut boxes. But
I
yeah.
love the Ninja Turtles #1, like the way they make the cover look. It's not far off from the Ronin cover. Like that's how much of a parody it is
Hmm.
of like it was never and then it also so it borrowed a lot from like Frank Miller stuff and it borrowed the Hand, the ninja group in the
Yeah.
Daredevil is called the Hand. Do you know what the evil ninja group in the Ninja Turtles are called?
Gosh, I forget what it
The Foot.
that's yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well,
I mean,
this this episode was great. It was super bloody, super violent.
Oh yeah,
A
dude,
lot of the
that one fucking
Punisher.
scene is glorious, horrific, is insane that they showed it. I
Yeah.
was I was like doing my run thing, and I was like, whoa! I was running while watching it. Nothing gets me more pumped than watching a dude's head get crushed.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Get my miles in. He would crush his head. You big fat
Well,
monster.
yes. I thought it was really terrible though that one of the cops, if you looked real closely in the back, was doing the crushing your head thing with the
I did it, not you,
from the
Kingpin.
kids in hall.
Yeah, it's classic. One of the best skits ever.
Yeah. But it was a great episode. Everything about it worked. It worked well within the Marvel universe.
Well,
It
I didn't
worked
expect the
well.
Punisher to show up, and you knew when he showed up with the short hair, he was there
Mhm.
to fuck people up.
Yeah.
Earlier, he's got long hair and beard. Like, who the fuck is this?
No, he's
Go
DT.
go back and hang out with your cousins in the fucking meat sandwich place in the Bear, dude. You're in the wrong show.
Yeah. This
Then he
was
fucking shaves down. He's like, I'm gonna fuck things up.
Yeah, he was great. The show was great. It sets up season 2 really great.
Oh yeah, I mean it is. They basically said that because originally season 1 was supposed to be 18 episodes.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So in theory, like saying like it's really just the 2 seasons split in half, which is fine. I
Yeah.
think it works on its own. I'm curious how long we're gonna have to wait. It did say in the very end credits, Daredevil will return.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's next year.
Yeah.
I bet they'll get it out. They're already like supposedly like halfway filming.
Right.
I don't feel like it's like one of those shows where it's like you're not doing like fucking alien spaceships and shit. Like I'm
No,
sure the
no.
post production's a mess for people to work on, but I'm sure it's nowhere near the level of like, you gotta like make all these like insane CGI. Even though
Yeah. No,
I bet you
there's
take
probably very little CGI.
I see that's where the little trick is. Shows like this are good in that you think, oh, there's no CGI. Oh,
No,
there's tons of CGI. There's tons of CGI they use in movies you would never even think. They'll add cityscapes in the background.
well,
They'll
yeah.
add
I mean,
environments. I guarantee
yes.
you Daredevil is a lot like the scene when they're in the freaking Red Hook area. I bet you everything on top is like a CGI image.
Yeah, I do think you're right. I think like when
That's
all
when
the
you know
lights go out,
CGI
it's
is
probably
so good when people don't even fucking realize they're using it.
yeah.
And they
But
use
I think there's a
lot.
difference between like static. I'm just making up these words, but like static CGI that's like doesn't move, doesn't it's kind of
have it like
unobtrusive in the
they don't have
background.
to edit in a Jar Jar Binks character.
Yes, but yeah,
Misa like it,
versus
Daredevil, Misa.
right, big floppy feet
Misa
stepping in
Bullseye.
gungam crap.
On the photo.
Well, anyway, I do think it looks great. I think I'm real excited for next season.
They hinted at something. There's this rumor that Foggy is not dead.
I've never thought Froggy was dead. I thought
It's Foggy. Stop it. It's not Froggy. It's Foggy. No, because in the comics there was a story similar where Wilson Fisk, the wife, what's her name?
Vanessa. I forget her real name.
Betty Fisk.
Betty Fisk.
It is Vanessa.
Ludafisk. Her name is
Ludafisk. Ludafisk.
She's a jellied fish.
What?
Dinner. Jellied fish dinner. Enjoyed by Norwegians in Wisconsin. Enjoyed.
Oh, I think you were talking about the rapper Ludacris.
Oh no, lutefisk is like a heavily salted. I think it's like a heavily salted fish gel.
That sounds disgusting.
Yeah. Anyway.
Supposedly in the comics, there's a storyline where she basically fakes Foggy's death, and they said if someone pulled up like a little Easter egg of there's like I don't know, there's like a scene with her, and there's this number you see. And it's the issue where Foggy's death was faked in Daredevil.
Oh, weird.
So it's just like one of these little Easter eggs. Because the actor is supposed to be in season 2. And again, it could just be flashbacks.
Right. Yeah.
But I have a feeling he won't be dead. I liked it was just such a good episode. I like
Yeah,
to. I'm
everything worked.
assuming that what's her face is going to become a like that ain't going to be his girlfriend anymore though.
Oh no, I think that's done.
Therapist.
And I think she is going to become a clear villain, like yeah, no, I think she's so
What
all
do
in
you
on the
think of her?
Kingpin.
She's all right, right?
I yeah, I didn't like her. I didn't like her character that much, and I thought the actress was fine. I mean, she's like a talented actress, but like the
I don't think they did a good job of like introducing the new characters really. Like
yeah,
there's the cherry guy, but it's like
yeah, yep,
he's just kind of like so like the first episode, there's the bullseye find, Foggy dies or whatever, and then
yeah,
Karen Page, and then you find out it's like 6 months later or a year later, Karen Page lives in California now, and he has this whole new cast.
yep,
And again, this show is a weird hodgepodge of actually two shows. They filmed a lot of stuff, and then the
right,
Marvel whatever got more involved, and they were like, we need to have more Daredevil in this. We need to have, and I
yeah,
think okay, so like like the swordsman's in this kind of.
yes,
I feel like all the scenes with the swordsman are brand new scenes. Those were the things that Marvel added in.
okay, yeah, I can see
Because
that.
like I love when they show him, he's like not even in costume, he just has like this stupid hood on. Like
Yeah,
hopefully he gets he wears something close to the costume that he wore in the comics because it's pretty funny if he does. And I think for a character like that, he was kind of silly. He's a little
yeah,
bit
yeah,
silly. He was from Better Call Saul. He was like the
yeah. Okay,
main
yeah,
yeah, he was great on that show. Um no, he's good in this too. By having him in it, it also kind of connects the Hawkeye show
yep,
to because Kingpin was the bad guy in that.
yeah,
And
and
I
Hawkeye,
feel like
yeah.
they didn't do a good job of like
He
mentioning
was a
things that
peripheral
happen.
character, yeah,
But there's things that he is the head power. In the end, he is the main villain. You find out that's who Kate Bishop's mom was kind of working with,
yes, yeah,
and she went to jail in that show. And it's a bigger actress, and they couldn't get her
yeah,
to. But who knows? Maybe she'll be in the next season.
huh,
Um, I don't know. I mean, like I said, this episode was amazing. Wilson Fisk is full on evil.
yeah,
The task force is evil. Uh, I love they all wear like the fucking Punisher skulls and like Punisher's like,
yeah,
what the fuck, man? Hey,
yeah.
Captain, motherfuckers.
Clowns. Yeah.
No, but like, I like that he's like Trump. It's fucking scary. I was
Oh
like
yeah,
watching it. I'm like, and I'm seeing like Trump with like deportate. We'll be talking about that in a second. The
yeah.
deportations and at some point he's going to try to institute martial law, or he'll try to institute
He
martial
already
law in a
did
certain area. He did?
at the end of this. Well, Kingpin, not.
No, I'm talking about Trump.
Yeah. Okay. Trump is
Yeah,
not
in
yet.
the fictional show, yeah, he did. He said that, and he said like everyone has to be in an 8.
Yeah.
Really, in the city? Yeah, good luck maintaining that.
Well, I guess this would be a good transition to Trump. He he has gone full authoritarian over the last couple weeks.
Trump.
Yeah, Trump.
Yeah. Did he pop
Um,
somebody's head though, like Kingpin?
no, he did
I don't
not.
think he could do that.
He has such tiny
He
hands.
has tiny,
Um,
soft, little jelly hands. Kingpin's like a big, you
Trump
know.
Trump
Hold
couldn't.
on. That scene when he crushes that guy's head,
Yeah,
I
that was
could
good.
not believe they showed that. That was
It
brutal
was
as
really grotesque.
dude.
Um,
That's gonna be a gift that's gonna be used.
oh yeah, it's
So
like Scanners. It's like the
yeah, the
Scanners
scanner's
gift.
gift where like someone says
Yeah.
something dumb and I love
Right.
that gift so much. When you read something so stupid and you put the scanners, the head
Yeah.
exploding. I always like the
Um,
other one from Tim and Eric where the guy goes, there's like
yeah,
galaxy.
that's a good one.
Yeah.
I like the little monkey puppet from that Brazilian show who just kind of
Oh, when
like
he turns
turns
his
and
head, kind
yeah,
of. Yeah.
looks all surprised, like huh?
But
Like
the head popping and scanners is just,
yes, that's a good
and I
one.
feel like this one's gonna be the next. I could not believe they showed that. I
Yeah,
was like,
that was really intense.
it would not shock me if they remove it. I'm surprised. I'm surprised no one said anything yet. I wonder if there's got to be like a TikTok of it, like people crushing melons and shit.
Yeah,
Like I was like talking to these people about this today. I said to them, I'm like, I shocked it wasn't just like an off camera. You see like
yeah,
blood splatter and a pop, and everyone like, oh, but no, they fucking
right. You just see the face
You
The-
saw his head
oh,
getting squished,
yeah.
and he just like he fucking broke his jaw and just
Yeah.
completely. Oh God,
It was gross.
it was gross.
Um,
Yeah, so show ended out in a bang. Solid
Yes.
last episode.
it was
The cut scene in the end with the Punisher, like basically
really great.
they're supposedly making a special, like an hour-long special that's kind of like akin to the Werewolf by Night,
Mhm.
and they're gonna do a Punisher show. That's why they when they had him in prison, I was like, wait, are they gonna do a
Yeah.
whole episode of him in prison? Like,
Well, yes, he's getting out quickly. I think he's using the dude's femur as a lockpick or something.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
But yeah, he's getting out real quick.
They
It was a
ain't
great
holding
scene.
back on this character. This shit was, like I said, I was shocked that this was on Disney Plus. I mean, it's
Yes, me too.
like it
Me
is
too.
gory as shit. Like, I'm curious though. One of the things I hope they do in the Punisher series, I hope they bring back Micro, but I hope they bring back a new character that's Micro, because the other Micro was played by the guy I told you who's from the Bear, the cousin.
Oh
He's
yeah,
now going to be the Thing.
right. Yes.
I always thought that was kind of funny that they both were, and they're friends. They're on the Bear together too.
Yeah.
Well, at least he's in the flashbacks, Barenthal, because his character's dead.
Right.
But I kind of hope. Actually, I think they already did that already. They had Micro in. I think was Wayne Knight in fucking that Punisher movie, the Leslie
Jeez.
Alexander one that had. I think Wayne
I
Knight
don't
was
remember.
Micro in that. I gotta look.
I don't know. That is a good question.
I feel like he was in that movie. Yeah, he was. He was in Punisher Warzone. He was Micro in that.
Huh.
Newman.
Oh,
I remember that
God.
when the Punisher's like, Newman.
Ugh.
That's right, Punisher. I'm got you now. He like does that.
Ugh.
That's right, Jerry.
All right.
Newman was the best character. I don't care.
He was, yeah, he was
I
the
love
winner.
the episode when he's on the farm and
Oh yeah,
the farmer's daughter.
yeah.
Oh, and the one where he thought Kramer was a chicken.
Yeah.
He got hungry.
No, a turkey, right?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was fucking something from like Looney Tunes.
Right.
There was one where Kramer was basting himself with butter, right?
Butter,
He got cooked. He fell asleep on the roof and he got
Right,
cooked.
yeah, it was it.
Smelled like fucking meat. Kramer's like, no, wait, Newman's like, he's like salivating. So fucking funny. All right.
All right.
Speaking of not funny,
Yeah.
fucking actual hell world.
Yeah. There's a
Handmaid's Tale was a documentary. Who knew?
Yeah. Well, yeah, the big thing is, I mean, I guess we can get some of these are real quick towards the end, but the big one was the deportation thing that's been going on, and there's a bunch of stuff in the background of ICE agents that all look like fucking Proud Boy rejects. I mean, they all have like scraggly
Oh, they
beards
probably
and
are mostly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they
they're
are
a bunch of
all like
fascists.
really shady looking characters, but there's you go on TikTok or YouTube or whatever, there's tons of stories of these like or videos of these agents, breaking people's windows, dragging them out of cars. A lot of times,
Well, it's like in the Daredevil show at the cops.
yeah,
Kingpin tells people to go after fucking vigilantes. They kill some innocent guy, the cops, and he goes, and the guy's like, "What the hell?" And the other cop's like, "Hey, look." Pulls a hoodie on he puts a hoodie on his face. Go look, he's a vigilante.
Right. So there was the big kind of linchpin or the big thing is this guy Abrego Garcia. He was a guy living in Maryland. He was here legally. He was going through this appeals process, and a judge had given an order saying this guy should not be deported. And Trump deported them anyway. And they deported them right into this gulag in El Salvador. And the judge was like, there was a court order not to do it. And Trump did it anyway. And then at the same time, there's a separate judge where the judge said, if that plane is in the air, it needs to turn around. And the plane didn't even take off until after the judge said that. And Trump did it anyway and sent hundreds of people
And
to El
that fucking
Salvador.
president, was it El Salvador? No, where are they
Yeah.
sending people?
They're all going to El Salvador. Now, El
That fucking
Salvador,
president sounds like a piece of shit.
he is. Well, for years and years, El Salvador was rough. It had a really bad gang problem. There's two
You know, it
gangs that
still is.
basically, well, there were two gangs that were running the show, and they elected this radical far right president, and the guy did this. He declared martial law. I think they call it like special circumstances or whatever. And if you had tattoos, they would just put you in prison. No trial,
That's
no
what
anything.
they did with this. Some
Yeah.
guy got arrested. He had a puzzle piece, which is an autism tattoo.
Yeah. So the two judges that are at the heart of this have been slowly and the Supreme Court even weighed in and said, no, you got to facilitate his return. And Trump won't do it. And the attorney general
he's defying the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm not for this, but fuck. Let's defy it for good reasons. Court. You know what I mean? Not this one, but I mean, like, when it comes to like shit like no, we're gonna ignore you. We're gonna still fund like abortions and shit. Fuck off.
It is. It's hard to see how. Well, anyway, that's neither here nor there.
No, what?
I was going to say, it's like if a Democrat ever regains the presidency, if they ever have an election or whatever, I would demand of them that they do what they got elected to do: universal health care. They,
fuck with this.
debt relief.
Like, well, this case that we heard, fuck you.
No. So anyway,
I mean, clearly you can do whatever the fuck you want. It's all bullshit anyway.
Yeah, well, I was talking earlier about Chuck Grassley had a town hall meeting, and one of his constituents said, Trump is disobeying a court order. Why should I listen to the courts? Why should
Chuck Grassley said that?
No, a voter, a constituent of Chuck Grassley asked Chuck Grassley in a town hall meeting, said, look, Trump is not listening to court orders. Why should I? Why should I listen to any government official? Like, why should I listen to any laws?
He's president. You're not. That's why.
Well, but it's rough, and I'll tell you, it's getting rougher. Like you said earlier, Trump is wanting to now send American citizens.
He said that homegrown. He said homegrown. It's like, what the fuck? Like, and again, it's like this is one guy who's like a writer. I don't know. There's like one guy that everybody's like trying to get him out, or I've seen a lot of people posting pictures. I just saw the question. Okay, I've seen pictures, people posting of all these dudes like tied up in jail. Is that a real photo? Is that some AI shit?
No, that prison is like that.
Oh my god, what a fucking nightmare. That's like inhuman.
They put the world over the last years has said that it's like a human rights abuse. And Trump picked that place specifically to send these people,
Fucking
and I'll tell you, a senator went down there.
I don't give
a senator went down to El Salvador today to demand that he see this guy. I just want to lay eyes on him. The senator from Maryland, Chris Van Hollen, which is where this guy was from, and El Salvador wouldn't let him see the guy. A lot of people are speculating that the guy's either dead or has been like brutalized, and that El Salvador can't let him out.
He's either brutalized or he's definitely dead. It's definitely not good.
Well, they know, I think, that if he starts talking and that from all accounts, this guy's just a regular guy. He's never had
on X or whatever. I saw like posts from like Elon Musk saying like basically defending the whole thing. It's like, fuck you. Bro.
Well, this is like, it's a weird thing because like, if the law says if you are in the United States, if you are a person, you get due process. It doesn't say American citizen. It just says if you're a person in the US, you get due process. None of these people have gotten due process. Some of them probably are real shitty people. They probably did figure out, like, they probably deported a murderer. Okay. It still doesn't make it right the way they did it. You know, I mean, like it may be that like if someone from El Salvador killed someone in El Salvador and then came here and committed crime, maybe you should send them back. I don't know. That sounds probably like it's right. I don't love the idea of someone having to go to that prison, but I don't love murderers either, you know. But that's not exactly what's happening here. A lot of these people, like one of them was like a former professional soccer player with like a kid. That was a kid with the guy with the puzzle piece. This guy, a lot of these people are just like regular folks just trying to make it in the world, you know?
I'm telling you, this is going to get worse. It's not. It's
It's
really,
going to get much worse. We're like 3 months into it, you know?
yeah, but I also wonder if this shit like they'll implode too.
If what?
If the Trump administration implodes like on itself.
Well, I think that's I don't, there's maybe like a 30% chance of that happening. I mean, that's not like a remote possibility. I mean, it could be, but
I just think like he picked so many horrible people this time that you're
yeah.
not really going to see anybody drop out. I think that all these people are awful. Even little Marco. I think these people like if he
Marco Rubio's straight up sold his soul. There's
yeah,
nothing left
nah,
for him.
he was always garbage. He was always garbage. He just came off like he was like
Yeah.
slightly respectable, but no, he's trash. Yeah, and they're going to like UFC fights. Ted Cruz and all these people, they're going to like the UFC, and it's like, dude, I couldn't imagine going to a fucking UFC fight now.
That's what
like
Tony Soprano's kid looks like.
What?
Wow, that's what Tony Soprano's kid on Daredevil reminds me of as a young Ted Cruz.
Oh yeah, a little bit. He could be Ted Cruz in a movie. I would
Yeah.
definitely cast him in that.
I cast him in the Zodiac Killer movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want to watch that movie.
it is really scary.
Do you
And then
think
like
his character was going back real quick to Daredevil? Do you think his character's like, oh shit? Or do you think he's like
well, at the end of Daredevil, at the end of this, there's a shot of him, a shot of him kind of looking down, you know, like,
yeah.
what have I done? And it wouldn't stun me if I was thinking at the time in season 2, he may be an unlikely ally to Daredevil.
Like a spy?
Yes, something like that. Like he'll show up and provide information or something.
I'm
Wouldn't
surprised
stun
that
me.
one woman wasn't killed. The one that's like,
which one?
He basically disempowered her. She was like the woman who basically would try to keep him in check, and then
I thought she was going to quit. I thought when he said send everyone home who wasn't with me, I thought he'd come back out in the hallway and she'd be gone.
I think she sent
herself home.
Yeah. I think if she left, they probably get killed. All right, so yeah, I don't know. I think everybody in this Trump administration is garbage. I think that like they picked fucking psychopaths, like that Cash Patel guy. Ooh, I heard that even like, did he quit or something? I heard like
he got let go. He was in charge of a bunch of agencies. I think he was in charge of the ATF.
I thought he was in charge of the FBI or something insane.
He was, but the ATF I think is like under the FBI. Anyway, he got let go of that responsibility, but he's still in charge of the FBI.
That's a crazy, dude. If you're in the FBI now, you gotta be like this guy.
Well, that's the thing, is that there's gonna be like, let's just say we hope the adults eventually get back in charge. Maybe in 2 years the Democrats win the House, or what's going to be left? What's going to be left? All the good people will have been drummed out of government. Like the rank and file people, the people that you'd never know or hear of, or that the president would never meet, like, you know, Drone 47 and Sexter 15 would be like gone. And who's going to come back to work for the government, knowing that this could happen again in 2 years? Like,
yeah,
I mean,
it was supposed to be a reliable, steady job.
Prior to this, whether it was Reagan or Bush or Clinton or Obama, all these people were pretty much left to just run the country.
Because at the end of the day, outside of politics, there's just rudimentary shit that is needed to keep the system afloat.
Because you need people to.
One veers to the right, one veers to the left. I'm sure under Republican rule, it's always been a hiring issue. It's always been like, they're cutting the budget, we can't hire new people. But I think I seriously believe that Trump is besides being an agent of chaos, I do. I think he's a fucking Manchurian candidate. He's a fucking puppet leader to foreign adversaries that want to see the United States fall. and it's being destroyed from the inside. I mean, how does this benefit the country anyway? What Trump is doing, it doesn't
No,
benefit any. I don't. How does it? I can't. I want to see
I
these
don't. Yeah,
try to defend this
I don't know. I mean,
stock market crashing like the way it did, and
stock market crashing, the value of the dollar is plummeted, unemployment has
like
spiked
how
up.
is this not done in design? How is this not
There's
intentional?
measles outbreaks.
That's insane. The measles.
There's a new whooping cough outbreak, pertussis. It's a huge one now.
Oh, awesome.
All these things, and they just cut 40% of the budget of Health and Human Services. On the front page of the actual government Health and Human Services website is fifth place swimmer Riley Gaines talking about how our health and human, instead of fighting measles, they're worried about poor Riley got fifth place in a swimming meet instead of
Fuck
fourth
her,
place.
dude. She's the fucking. Why is she still a
Trash can.
fucking thing? What a piece of garbage.
It's
Little
bananas.
What?
So it's bananas. I don't know. I mean, like you would
Surprised they haven't
think,
had Rittenhouse be like a public speaker. I feel like I
yeah,
don't anymore, right? I'm kind of
no,
like
I'm a little surprised. I think that
I think Donald Trump would say not ready for prime time.
yeah, I think he's like a little they like him a little less porky, I think.
No, I think it's not that. I think he's probably sounds like a fucking moron.
Yeah, he's got like a
At the end of the
eighth
day,
grade
Riley
education.
Gaines is like
She went to
I don't know.
college.
I don't find her pretty at all. I don't think she's attractive.
No, but she
And
doesn't
that's
look,
all that matters in the end, guys. No, I mean,
she
like, but
doesn't
I
look
can
terrible.
see
I mean,
how the right would glom onto her.
yeah,
She's a
I could.
blonde girl. She has this bullshit story.
Yeah.
It's like that. God, I can't stand him. And they keep talking about that one dead girl.
Yeah.
Like, got killed by like.
Yeah,
I hate when Democrats fall for it and repeat it too. It's like
yeah.
you do
I
realize
forget
what
the
they're
woman's
doing with this.
name.
The poor woman's being used as like.
Even the woman's dad was like, "This is grotesque."
Yeah,
Like,
it was a divorce thing, and the dad
yeah,
he was totally against it, and clearly the other family was like, "Oh, yuck, yuck," showing up at like
yeah,
it's like fucking inauguration and shit. It's like,
yeah, just kind of like dancing on the grave.
yeah, fuck, our kid's dead.
It is. I don't.
We got Trump back. It was worth it. We got Trump.
I can't think of. I'm just trying to like play devil's advocate here. I can't think of anything though that's gone well. You know what I mean? Like,
Since
I
he's
mean,
back.
yeah, I mean, I can
Oh,
see
I
like
think it's like I mean, we're 3 months
no,
in.
even from like his voters' perspective, I can't think of like. I mean, I think they like the fact that like these immigrants are being humiliated and
Again,
harmed.
though,
I
these
think they
people
like
live in a
that, but
bubble. They live in a right wing bubble. They get their news from right wing. They're not going to see the shit we're seeing. They're not going to see
yeah,
and they don't care. And I think they secretly like when they see photos of like people tied up like that. I think they like that. I think they feel
do.
like, good.
They have gone down there for photo ops and have like posed in front of those cages with all those
That's
people packed in them.
disgusting. Oh yeah, you got fucking what's her face down there? Fucking
Yeah,
fake, fucking Botox Sally, whatever.
she
Fucking
is
what's her name?
just
Christy Nome.
Christy Nome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like she's like holding a gun and like
fucking
and,
gross.
like surrounded by these like two Nazis and like all the prisoners behind it. It's like what the
Yeah.
fuck? What a horrible
Wow.
person.
Well, I'm
Scary. It really is.
I'm stunned at what's going on. I think by the time we talk next week, I think some of these court things will have either resolved or escalated.
I just
and
think
that'll
that
be
like,
interesting.
we talk about like, oh, I can't wait till like Avengers Endgame, Avengers Doomsday comes out next year. You know what? I can't even like, what is next year even gonna be like?
Yeah,
I just can't like, what is June gonna be like?
yeah.
I don't get it. Like,
June, they'll just start calling June Offred.
oh,
just-
Fred, June. Yeah, the month of June is now with Fred. I forgot about that part. That's like the fucking Handmaid's
Yeah.
name they're called.
Oh, Fred.
I forgot about that.
So, okay, so here's some funny things. We'll wrap up on some funny things.
Yeah, these are hysterical.
Yeah,
RFK?
the Catholic Church. I was
talking about
reading this.
RFK.
Oh well, yeah, that was basically the okay. His new thing is that autism can be prevented and or cured through diet. He's
I've heard that bullshit before. I heard that when
yeah,
I've heard those bullshit stories like, oh, my son eats only these foods and now he can
right.
fluent.
Yeah,
It's like, I mean, listen, you can make the argument that, like, of course, better food is better for
yeah,
you. Like, duh. Like, of course, protein is good for the brain. Of course,
right.
fiber. Like, of course, a balanced diet. Yeah, if you're
Yeah,
just eating like fucking McDonald's burgers all the time, yeah, that's not a good thing. No shit.
right.
You're eating garbage. Yeah, you're eating calories, but you're eating garbage.
The irony though is that they're saying this as they cut school lunch programs, as they cut
Of course.
SNAP benefits, as they cut like
Or they want to like put like
yeah.
fucking raw milk in places.
He's RFK. It's you can't think of a more. I mean, aside from maybe like Betsy
I
DeVos and
think
education,
it's
like
this man was not like this 10, 15 years ago.
yeah,
He was not like this. I remember like
yeah. No, I remember.
this long art. Like I remember like during the 2004 election, he was the one talking about like how it was stolen. He brought up the thing about in Ohio, like how they fucked with these paper ballot type things in Ohio, and like, and he seemed like a rational guy. Like he didn't. I mean,
Yeah,
he always had that weird voice. Like I don't know. He must have.
right.
Well, I don't know what the fuck caused that or whatever. But like, but then he just went. He like turned to this fucking freak over the years. He's not the same guy he was. That fucking worm, dude, ate his fucking brain.
Yeah.
His
Well, it
brain
literally did.
was
Yeah.
so toxic that a worm died. They don't die. They usually just keep feasting off of you.
Yeah. It's
That's
gross.
insane. You had a hole in your head. I remember when that story got out. I was like,
Yeah.
that's insane. This man has no business being in anything. Fucking oogie boogie.
Yeah. The other story
Christmas
was this
Jack.
the Catholic Church. I was reading this thing. It was in Iowa, Des Moines, Iowa, and one of the
Story's ridiculous.
sad things about modern healthcare is a lot of places. The only hospitals you can go to are Catholic hospitals.
Oh yeah.
So they limit your healthcare options from the get go. Anyway, this woman was going. She was pregnant and she wanted the kid. She was going there for prenatal care, and they accidentally killed the fetus. They which happens. I mean, like, look, you're gonna make an omelet, you're gonna break a few eggs, and
okay, there, Trump. Listen
no,
here. He dies.
it,
He dies.
so
Fucking Drago from Rocky 4.
the woman sued the hospital saying you basically you killed my child. And the Catholic hospital hired lawyers, and the Catholic hospital's argument is a fetus is not a human. That's it. That's their
insane.
argument.
I know you told me this before. I still find that absolutely fucking.
It is if you're playing along at home, you just Google Catholic Hospital Des Moines, and that'll be like it'll be the first story that pops up. It's stunning, and it's I mean it makes sense, but it's stunning. It's the hypocrisy there is pretty galling. Yeah. So that was the one story, the comical one to end on.
That was great. No, I mean that one's like so. That story should be massive. Like they should be bringing it up for years. Wait,
yeah.
So you just said that a fetus is not a living.
Yeah.
Well,
that's their.
We don't want to be liable for this.
We just went this one.
All the fetuses are alive, but this one,
right.
no, this thing was not. No, this thing was dead. We didn't do anything to it.
Could have been a baby Hitler. Never know.
Yeah, you could thank us. Probably a baby Hitler.
Yeah. The other big
Thank
story
God.
coming.
Thank God for the Catholic Church making sure there wasn't a baby Hitler.
Yeah. Was Linda McMahon, the Secretary of Education and professional wrestling CEO, gave a whole speech talking about how she was excited for the possibility of students using A1 in schools.
I saw people even making an AI of her standing over kids like pouring A1 sauce.
It was really, and like she was talking about it like
Did
she
she say it
was,
more than once?
oh yeah, over and over again. And the
Okay,
way
see,
she
that's
was,
when you know it's not a flub. It's a
yeah,
flub when they say it once. When they say it 2 times, not 3 times, no, they
yeah,
think it's A1.
right. If you, yeah, and it wasn't off a teleprompter or anything like that. Um, and you could tell the way she was talking about it, she was pleasantly surprised at this new product. Like she was like, they have this thing called A1 where you can, and it was like she was pleased to share her newly found knowledge with the interviewer. Um, really just crazy stuff. A1. Um, okay. So the
No,
next
I just think that when she got picked to be like the education secretary, there was a tweet that she put out where she was like talking when they were talking about raw milk all of a sudden, and
oh
then
yeah,
she
yeah.
talking about replacing all the milk in school, and she's like, I like the way I like my milk raw, and it's like, what the
Yeah.
fuck? And it's like this bitch probably doesn't even know what raw milk is. She
No,
probably,
they don't.
if you actually told her what it was, she'd be like, wait, what?
Right.
Wait, what? Well, I'm gonna do. You know what? I'm gonna get the honky tonk man, fucking Georgie Animal Steel, Coco Beware. I'm gonna get Jimmy Superfly Snooker, and
Ugh,
we're gonna take care of this raw milk situation. Jimmy Hart, Hulk Hogan. She's listing all the wrestlers.
God.
Gold
It
Dust, Gold
this
Dust's son.
Betsy DeVos, the education secretary under Trump, was a ghoul, absolute ghoul.
She at least
But
kind of knew a little bit.
she knew the subject area.
Enough.
It's
Not
right.
as much as you think, but just
Well,
enough.
no, she knew privatization of schools. She knew the language.
Yeah, yeah.
You would immediately know, like, okay, this woman is familiar
Linda
with the
McMahon don't know
subject
shit
enough. Yeah,
about fucking
Linda
education.
McMahon.
Like,
Yeah, it's a grotesque.
I'm working on Smack. We're trying to get SmackDown numbers to be higher this year. You know
Right.
the pay-per-views aren't what they were. WrestleMania is gonna be a big thing. What about
She
schools?
probably
What?
gets grade reports from all the kids in like the US and wonders why no one got an E, you know? Uh
E?
like an E. Like you got an A, a B, a C, a D,
You
and an
know, I
F.
had E's in elementary school. Our report cards E was for excellent.
Yeah, well that's a
Bill
different
and
scale.
Ted wrote the Bill and Ted. They wrote that.
Yeah.
Excellent.
All right, the next one was
Well, hold on. There's
yeah.
this person should not be education secretary.
No.
None of these people should be in the positions they should be in.
No.
The minute he announced that guy to be the head of like military or whatever it is,
Hegseth, yeah.
except that's when it was like, okay,
Yeah,
this is
weekend host at Fox News.
yeah, like this is like I mean the joke about Linda McMahon though was well once she tried running for senator a couple times and failed in
Yeah.
Connecticut twice. And then she was in the first Trump administration, but she was like in charge of like small
She's like,
business something.
yes, a small business administration,
Yeah,
I
that
think.
makes sense. I mean, she's
Yeah,
still gonna be awful, but at least that like
that makes
that
sense.
makes
Yeah, I mean,
she should not be an
again,
education secretary. There's no that makes no sense. That
yeah,
is like the
but you're
people.
right. Like if she were in charge of like something, yeah, small business or even like telecommunications, I guess they probably do a lot with. Oh, there could be other fits for her if you really wanted to reward a
You
big
know, a
time political
loyalist.
donor who's also a moron. You know,
I mean, like again, is she a dumbass? I mean, I'm sure she's like, I wouldn't say she's stupid, but she has no
she
business
seems
being in this
stupid.
fucking. She has no business being in this.
Yeah,
She has no business
I
being in public.
I think a person. I think if you say A1, you're stupid.
I
You
think that is an honest mistake for people who don't pay attention to anything. I don't think it's like
yeah, but I think
I
that
think
if
she is just so in her own world. It's like I said, hey, were you good at being like whatever you did in WWF? Why don't you stick to that? You know, it's like you said, it's like these people who get like they do really well in one thing, and then
yeah,
all of a sudden they're like, I could be president of the world.
right.
And it's like, no, you were just good at like selling fucking vending machines to stores. I mean, like it doesn't
I
make
think if you surveyed 100 Walmart greeters, 99 of them would know what AI is.
yeah,
You
maybe.
know, I think if you
Most of those people are usually like 100 years old, though. But
Yeah, I still think that,
no,
anyway,
A1 is ridiculously stupid.
yeah. In that context.
And the fact that she said it a whole bunch of times.
At a Sizzler, not stupid, but
Sizzler. And a beefsteak Charlie's.
right. Makes perfect sense. Yeah.
I think
all right,
those
so
were like out of business by the time I was like 6 or something.
all right, so two left. We got Vance, JD Vance hosted the Ohio State Buckeyes, who won the national championship.
Totally vanced it up.
Oh, this guy,
This guy's a putz.
he is a putz. He's a loser.
There's really nothing to say. He just dropped the trophy. He like fumbled it and dropped it on the floor, like broke it.
Yeah, but it broke into 2 pieces.
I think
moron.
they kind of come
embarrassment.
Anyway, I don't think that was like.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, look, this is something I would look, and this is just me. This is the difference between me and like MAGA. I've always said like they just have such supreme confidence in themselves. Like if someone were to hand me a trophy, I would hold it. I would I would kind of eyeball it and say, okay, there's 2 pieces to it, and this motherfucker just picks it up like a goddamn jackass, drops it.
Goof.
Fucking idiot.
He is an idiot.
Yeah,
of course.
Right. So the funniest story I heard all week is how Chris Columbus, who directed Home Alone 2, is afraid.
Do you think Chris Columbus gets shit for his name?
Yes.
Genocide murderer. And he's like, what? I just made Home Alone.
He wanted to edit Trump out of Home Alone 2, but he's afraid that Trump will deport him.
I know.
Straight up legitimate. Yeah. It's a legitimate fear,
I don't think he would ever edit Trump out.
Yeah, I don't either, because I think that becomes a curiosity.
Funny, but I think he's like, and I knew this for years too. The only reason why Trump was in there, they wanted to use that building, and he owned it, and he's like,
yeah,
I get to be in the movie, and they're like,
right,
sure, let's let this big dumbass, fucking overrated dumbass billionaire, fucking failed businessman in our movie. He's not gonna amount to anything in 20 years, and then fucking new Hitler.
Yeah.
If I told you like 15 years ago that Trump would not just be president, but he would also be like a full-on fascist, would you believe that? Or you'd be like,
no, I would have thought he'd be, honestly, like 15 years ago, like before I really knew much about Trump. And if I had forgotten
pre-Obama years, it's got to be
if I had forgotten about the Central Park 5 thing, or if he had come out and kind of apologized for it, I would have thought him to be a Reagan-esque kind of cheerleader type president, like let's get to work, and like I would have thought better of him, to be honest with you.
A little bit more underlying.
No, it would not. That wouldn't have been on my radar at all.
Hitting in the fucking face.
I would have thought that, look, he's probably racist like a lot of people his age are, but he's gonna like disguise that to something. I honestly would have thought better of him.
I also think he would never win.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, I mean,
I just can't believe he won the second time. The first time it was still crazy, but the second time I'm just like, how the fuck?
It's flooring.
How'd this happen? I'm sorry.
I'll tell you, I will never, ever forget anyone who voted for him the second time.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like the first time, yeah, I could, but like, look, if you're like some dipshit in like fucking Eastern Pennsylvania and you think Trump's going to bring back the Maytag factory so you can make washers or whatever, for, the first term before like it got terrible, I'll give you a pass if you say, oh, I made a mistake. But like anybody who voted for him the second time around, fucking done. And honestly, whoever the next Democratic nominee is, I will vote for them.
Oh, of course.
However, I will only vociferously support a Democrat who says we're going to hold people accountable for what's happened.
That'll never happen.
That right, and I'll still vote for them, but I am
If it
like,
was going to happen, it would happen under Obama with Bush. Bush and his administration, multiple international domestic crimes were committed under that presidency, and Obama was like, "Well, gotta move on, folks. Don't worry about it.
yeah, but
Can't look back.
these
Keep
are
looking
different.
forward." No,
This
yep.
is different because when
Well,
Cheney
no,
and
those
Rumsfeld
fucking Bush
and
things were really bad, dude. They did the fucking
but they
Guantanamo. They did
were
the
they were mostly I don't mean all, but a lot of them were shitty policy decisions that could happen to other people innocently. That wasn't the case with the Bush people, but I could see you don't want a precedent where everyone has to go on trial for their policy decisions. These
Yeah.
are not policy decisions that Trump is making. It's not policy. It's just executive whims and orders, and
it's like
literally people
chaos. It's fucking chaos.
flouting the Constitution, defying court orders. I want truth and retribution, so and like I said, I'll vote for even if the Democrat says we're all going to get along, I'll still vote for him. But if they want a dime, if they want me to pump them up on social media, if they want me to share my support with others, I want justice out of this, and that's that.
Yeah, no, I just don't think we're ever going to be delivered that. I think we're fucked. I think
I
don't think it's
I
ever
tend to
resolved.
agree with you, but we'll see.
I think it is I don't know. Unless something happens, unless something changes, some people start resigning in the administration. Because the best thing you want to happen during a Trump administration, well, except for like health and human services stuff, is nothing. You want nothing. It would be best if nothing happened.
Yes.
Trump did,
which is often what happened in his first term.
Well, yeah, to a point,
Often.
yeah. But I mean, look at what happened with COVID and shit. I mean, that was a result of like, again, why would you break up these like systems that makes no sense. Why would you do that? Why would you? They're already there. They're established. I mean, you could tinker with it, I guess, but you know what I mean? You want to fucking put some totes in or some shit. But like, why would you dismantle it? That makes no sense.
Yeah.
What was it called again? It was like under Obama. It's like how they made sure fucking Ebola didn't like take over the fucking country. What's it called? There was like a term. It was like all the health agencies could communicate, and like
I forget the name. It was like the CDC was at the head of it, and
like Trump gets in and he's like, get rid of it, and look what happens with fucking COVID. Over a million Americans died.
Yeah.
And it's a fucking virus that's never going to go away. It's always going to be some variation out there. It's going to mutate at some point. It's like, and again, I just think like we're more fucked this time around. If there's like a pandemic again of any kind, people have been trained to be fucking stupid for years now. I mean, look, we got fucking measles. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I always knew that. I always knew anybody that claimed that, they're just anti-COVID vaccine. That's bullshit.
Nah, they've it's been designed. They teach people to distrust the government, and then they flood social media with misinformation.
Yep.
And then they cut vaccination programs and advertising for vaccine. It's literally designed to kill people. I mean, you couldn't have done it any better.
You want to get rid of Social Security? Just kill people off earlier so they can't collect on it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I look at it. It's just like,
yeah,
people died at 62. They died at 59. You know, it's like, it's fucked up.
Yeah.
I think these motherfuckers rather see us dead than collect like a couple of grand a month for
I agree.
Of life.
I agree.
They do not value life at all. They don't. Mm-hmm. And they claim they're the ones that value life. They don't value life. They don't give a fuck.
No.
They'll pilfer the country. One last thing, and on a different note, this is kind of like more like kind of stuff we would have talked about in the beginning, but whatever.
Yeah.
This is real quick. So I don't know if you're aware. Do you know of a show called Mythic Quest that's on Apple? And it stars Rob Delaney, Mac from is that his name? Rob Delaney? I don't know. He's Mac on Always Sunny.
Yeah.
And it's about this gaming company, and they have like this kind of like a World of Warcraft type game or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's been on 4 seasons, and they announced that they canceled it.
Oh.
And the show ended up on a cliffhanger. So they announced, and this is kind of crazy, and I hope this kind of starts a trend.
Uh-huh.
They announced that they made a new, either they already filmed it and they had it ready to go. Probably knew that like this is probably gonna be our last season.
Right.
Cliffhanger. Supposedly, I don't know when it airs. It's supposed to air soon, but they basically added like a couple of minutes or edited the show or whatever
cool.
they did so that it's now a series finale.
Oh, nice. Good.
I'm curious what they do with it. I'm curious if they're gonna be like do one of these like, oh, they end up doing this. And, you gotta give
right.
characters. It's the kind of shit we kind of wish like some of these shows that got canceled had like,
yes,
what happened? Like, so like what happened? I forgot what. Oh yeah, like there was this awesome show called Heels. Starred the guy from Arrow.
Yeah, I remember that.
I really liked it. It was on like Stars, I think, but it ended on.
Yeah.
I think I watched it on like Netflix or something. And it was only 2 seasons. And the show ended on this like insane cliffhanger. The show was fucking canceled. It's like,
yeah.
All right, I guess we're never gonna know. I just like want that, like the actor or the writers to be like put out like a tweet, like, well, here's the ending to the show.
Yeah.
Let me give you guys some closure. Why can't they do that? They had to have like some kind of end game, or you know what I mean?
Yeah. I wish more shows would do that. Colony with that Josh Holloway.
Oh, I remember that. That's
just
a
died
complicated show to end, like do that. Like Mythic Quest is a kind of a fun show, and it kind of ends like the 2 characters like kiss, like the nerdy girl Poppy, who's like the game designer, and that's how
with Colony, I think they just came out and they said this is how we would have ended it. Just
like
a paragraph.
Something.
Yeah, the Josh Holloway gave an interview where he said this was the next season. And if we did a season after that, it would have been this, and I don't know what next. So, I mean, you got some sense of it, but
they went, I have to go now. My people need me.
Right, yeah.
All
right.
I have to go now. I love that. Homer has this big speech he gives, and they're like, fuck that. And the fucking the son of like the Walt Disney character to create.
Yeah.
He's like, his voice, I have to go now. Like he's like, fuck that. Get rid of this character. He sucks. No, there was like one other show I was thinking of. Whatever. Yeah, I just think I like that they're doing that. I'm curious.
Yes.
I'm curious
me too.
and I feel like in this era of streaming, which is fucking so many shows get canceled all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I want a little closure. Like somebody I said, they like every fucking season, unless it's in the bag. Like a Stranger Things type thing, or you know what I mean? One of these shows where it's like a massive hit, like we're committed to like 3 to 4 seasons. But if it's like one of these shows where it's like we don't know, they should always have like a
I agree,
or some explanation or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Well, on that note, I'm Rob Israel.
I'm Joseph K.
You still going on about
that?
Thank you for listening to You Still Going On About That. Please like, comment, share, and if you haven't done already, please follow us on Instagram, YSGOAT, Facebook, YSGOAT, and Twitter, YSGOAT. Thank you, and have a great day.